There are things going on that you would not believe.
Your brain and what it can do is a gift. See how far it can take you.
You're not kids. Not here.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode coverage of The Institute here on Horror with Nads. I'm your host of the channel, Nadia, and I'm so grateful for you guys to be here with us today. Please do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on replay, please leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking of The Institute, what you thought of this episode, or I don't know, tell me your favorite ice cream flavor. Anything helps with the algorithm. With all that out of the way, let me bring on my panel. What's up, guys?
Hey, how we doing?
Hello.
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 It's been an interesting day. It's been an interesting day. We'll find out in 48 hours if Nadia's internet famous.
Nice.
I'm going to be scrolling through TikTok tonight while I'm on duty, seeing if I can find
Oh,
you something.
yeah.
There you go.
Little inside joke there, sort of.
Yeah.
Little behind the scenes story. Little into
If it comes, I don't want to give any fuel to it, because if it does come to fruition, I want to be able to counter. Surprise him. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Corey, how are you?
I'm doing very good. Got in super late last night. Love airlines and delaying flights and everything, but I'm here. I got a second win, and I'm ready to hang out and talk about this show. And I'm glad you didn't decide not to invite me again after the last one. So.
Oh no!
You're always in welcome, Corey. I know.
Oh,
Corey, yours on my 1K celebration, you were one of the channels. I was like, please subscribe. You, Trina, and
you.
Toxic. Kyle doesn't need it.
I'm so glad that you didn't
try
to track me down and have me killed.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. But yeah, I was dragging a little bit, but I was ready to hang out with y'all and talk about this. So I'm excited.
Was it Southwest? It was Southwest, wasn't it?
No, as you and I did.
Oh, because I have a beef with Southwest, a personal beef with them. They have delayed every single flight I've taken in the last 2 years.
Well, this one was weird. They delayed it, and then they bumped the time back up earlier, and then they delayed it again. And I was like, wait a minute, you guys are just messing with me now. But it was all over the place. But anyway, I made it home, so that's a good thing.
The last time I was on a Southwest plane, they loaded everybody on the plane. We're getting ready to go. And then, you know, that door. So, you know, you enter through, but there's a door on the opposite side. Usually that's where like they load like snacks or something to the plane. I guess the door fell off its hinges and they couldn't.
Is that a problem?
It.
Is that a problem?
So then we all had to Chicago O'Hare. What can I say? Trina, you are new for the Institute, but you're usually with me on Final Girls. How are you?
I'm well. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm so sorry that I missed the first stream, the first 2 episodes of this show. I really had a lot to talk about, but yeah, looking forward to talking about this episode with you guys. And yeah, hello to everybody out there watching us as well.
Kyle, how are you?
Rocking and rolling. I'd say the upside to this show is I get to be here and talk about it. That's where I'll start.
Paul's coming back. Paul's coming back. Did you see that? Or did he not message you? Did he just message me? He did. Okay.
Are you talking about next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll be on before that too.
Good.
Yeah, all right.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah. We get to come back to Paul's Thirsty Thursday.
I'm excited about it. I'm glad he's back. Oh, because he kind of MIA for a little bit.
Oh yeah. We can talk about it later in terms of like on air with him. We're like, what did you do, man? Where did you go? You know.
Toxic, as always. What's going on?
Hello. Hey. Just jumped off of the Outcast Creative. He wanted to do a little RIP stream to the 3 legends that we lost this past week. And so I'm ready to talk about this and discuss some of the big differences that have happened with the book and the show and where we're at with the show. So kind of excited.
Please don't shame me, but the only thing I know Ozzy from is like the reality show that I
okay.
grew up
The
watching.
Osbones.
He's not from your
Yeah.
generation. Yeah. So unless you were
Yeah.
like a metalhead that wanted to like retro metalhead, I mean, he's before my generation, to be fair, really. I mean, so it's nothing, you don't have to know. I mean, you know who he is though. So I mean, it's just like, it's like anything else. I mean, for you, he's a reality star.
Reality
personality.
star.
Yeah, it's like when I found out that Trump got elected when I came home from overseas. I was like, wait, I was like, really? The reality star, Trump? All right, interesting. So, I mean, you know, how you know people, depending on how long they've been in the industry, will, you know. But I mean, you know, and again, I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about Hulk Hogan as far as that goes, because I mean, he was a reality star for a good hot little minute there with the Hogan family, and then Malcolm Jamal Warner. Well, I know he did other stuff, but it'll always be Theo Huxtable for me, you know, from the Cosby Show. That's the only one that's like, yeah,
makes me want to watch Mr. Nanny today.
Mr.
For
for
was
Hulk
that Hogan? Yeah.
Is that the one where he wore a tutu?
I never saw it.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was thinking about. I never saw it, but I just know about it. You know?
He was in Three Ninjas too, as well. I think it's
was he
the third one or the second one? Yeah.
See, with him, it's the early WWF, you know, WrestleManias and stuff. But
yeah. Well, like I said on Lance's stream, I saw Rocky 3 and he was the bad guy, and then the next year he's the good guy in all this wrestling stuff, and I was really confused because I was only 7 and I was like, I don't understand what's going on here. So
Suburban Commando, Mr. Nanny, Thunder in Paradise.
My dad was a huge fan of Thunder in Paradise. Like my dad watched the shit out of that show. So
I knew of her wrestling too, because I used to watch wrestling in middle school. Like I was the era of like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, but you know, Hulk Hogan would have, you know, casually make appearances now and then. But yes. I mean, I feel like 70s is a little too young nowadays, at least nowadays. Like back in the day, maybe, but I feel like there are a lot of people in their 70s that are moving better than some people in their 30s.
It seemed a lot of the grandfathers of my generation, like the grandfathers, it seemed like 70s were kind of the years that they would.
I don't want to disparage the dead, but I mean, listen, you can't take gear for 40 something plus years and do all that damage to your body and then expect it to run. I mean, I only did gear once, and it's just like it takes away from other parts of your body in order to give you that muscle mass and stuff like that. So I mean, it's not something you should do for years and years and years, and unless you have
steroids. Is that what it is?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not necessarily. It's usually a high human growth hormone. Is a lot cleaner. So, but I mean, there's ways that you can, you know, you can still do it and clean, like you can get blood transfusions and, you know, all that different wacky stuff that the celebs do and may not do, whatever. So,
well, RIP to all of them. It did come in threes. It usually does. Hopefully we don't. And I had to remind Chris, we lost Gene Hackman earlier this year. Tragically, may I add, too. Not like passing away in his sleeper kind of thing. Very tragically. So, RIP. Well, okay. All right. There's a little bit of a Debbie Downer, but it's okay. Yes, May. Can I help you? Okay. Ma'am. All right. I need to pull up chat. Please let me pull up chat.
Somebody needs attention right now.
I know, right? Right now, she's just grabbing at my like, what? Yellow, red there. Okay. Piranha. What's up, Piranha? Thank you, lady. Yeah, hitting 1K last week. That was fun.
Big deal. That's awesome.
I'm going out on top. I'm done.
No, you're not. Oh, wow. Now
I'm
you're
done.
going to.
When you say going out on top, does that mean you're quitting? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I'm retiring from YouTube.
No.
Oh, you're the only big YouTuber that streams with me. Don't do that.
Now you're 2K bound. Come on, working on for the next milestone.
2K.
I will say.
Well, yeah. Well, you just do 1K at a time. She'll get there. Yeah.
I never imagined I would be at 1K. The idea of even getting to like 1,500 is like out of my, like, I feel is unattainable versus even 2K on it.
You'll get there pretty soon.
I can't believe I'm even a stone's throw away from 500. I never thought that would happen.
Awesome. No, that's awesome, man.
And I'm not being down on myself. I honestly did this for fun, to have an outlet to talk about movies and the great extra things I got with it is meeting cool people like you and being able to hang out and do this. And I honestly, this is not being down on myself, but I never thought I would have even been in that ballpark of having that many friends.
Nadia, you are literally one open bar appearance away from like hitting like you like
there you go.
5K. No, for real. Like we had a big talk about you the other day, the behind the scenes people for the Drinker, and I threw your name out quite heavily, just so you know.
I know Blue is doing it too, but to be honest, if Drinker asked me to be on, I don't think I would go on just based off how nervous no, seriously, how nervous I would be.
Bullshit.
Nadia, you're better than
dude. I said yesterday that The Matrix was overrated on Zax's stream. I don't think Drinker would.
So who cares?
Yeah,
Brawler was on Drinker, and he said that Signs was his favorite movie of all time, and everyone gave him shit for it. It was entertaining.
I think they love the hot takes. They love the hot takes. I think
they do love the hot takes. Nobody wants an echo chamber.
Yeah, that starts conversations and jokes.
Yeah,
and
Nadia, you are 10 times better than any other female person they've had on that show. Easily. I would most of the times I roll my eyes when I see some of the guests. Like that'll really depend whether I listen that week. If I saw you on there, holy crap, dude, you would kill on open bar.
And then that would be the last time Nadia would stream with me. So
and me, yeah,
too big for me. Then.
Caveat
too big for me.
Too big.
Sorry, Corey. You got to get that.
Get away from me. Get away from me, you peasants.
Sorry. No, I've told my husband. I said if I ever get to a point where I'm just like, I put a barrier between me and my friends who I've started with, who I've streamed with and stuff like that. If I ever got to that point, I'd be grateful. But I would never abandon anybody. I would never turn my back on anybody. That's what the 1K celebration was all about this Tuesday. It wasn't about me. It was about like promoting and spotlighting other creators who should be at 500, 1K and have the watch hours and stuff.
But
so
you do know that's what the Drinker does that too, boss. He does the same thing. He's always about promoting smaller channels and getting people, up because just like
then I'm gonna have to watch Marvel and Disney and all of these like stuff that I don't really care about.
That will make you angry.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing Fantastic Four this weekend, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm hearing mixed things.
I envision like a big horror movie gets released and then your name gets dropped and it's like, who we should have on to discuss this weapons movie or something. Let's get horror with Nadia because that's her niche.
Black Phone 2.
I have theories about Black Phone 2. Have you seen the trailer for Black Phone 2?
I did. Yeah.
I saw your theory. It's interesting. You think it is a leftover or an adopted Nightmare Before on Elm Street idea script?
I think because Nightmare on Elm Street has been in like negotiation hell or whatever going on with the rights for it, because we haven't had in addition, we had that remake a while back, but we haven't had anything added to the IP. So I truly believe Black Phone 2 is a unused Nightmare Before Elm Street script that they just kind of changed a couple of things. I mean, the dude comes back and haunts these kids in their dreams.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a backdoor spin-off or sequel, though. If that's any indication.
It was a good trailer. It was better than the movie I watched. So I mean, make of that what you will.
Well, because the movie had high expectations of being a horror movie, and it's more of a drama thriller. I think there's some scary elements to it. Okay, Graph Web for $2. Nice. For fuck's sake, cancel Disney Plus.
Never had it.
Never had it either.
Yeah.
Never had it.
Yeah.
So
I have it, but I get it for free. So legally.
2 episodes in, love this show so far. You and Corey.
Thank you. Toxic. He had some positive things to say by the time our stream was done last time, I'd say. But
by the way, that's Lance. Outcast Creative is Lance.
Yeah,
by the way,
that's Lance.
Hi, Lance.
Hi, Lance.
Okay, shall we start episode 3?
Yes.
Episode 3, the graduation. Hold on, let me pull up my notes.
Can I graduate?
So IMDb gives a very short description of this episode, saying Luke begins to plan his escape while Sigsbee is distracted, trying to expose Stackhouse's disloyalty, which, by the way, Stackhouse should be capitalized IMDb. Meanwhile, Tim loses a friend. Okay, that's pretty thing. I wrote
little vague.
Yeah, really, which I can understand. They're trying not to give the episode away.
Right.
But I wrote it as graduation deepens the horror and mystery of the Institute as the children faces a grim reality of the facility's operation. The episode centers around Shaw transfers to the ominous back half. What it's Kalisha, isn't it?
Thought you were doing the reference to my fake.
Oh, yes. I forgot.
But you just reminded her.
Yeah. Well, if I had just been like, "What the hell," and then left it alone, everyone, "What the hell?
Should have just waved it off like those people at the Coldplay concert."
You totally did a Coldplay kiss cam moment right there.
Well, I'm giving you the benefit that I'm choosing to trust you. Okay.
So where children rarely returns, Luke, a teen with talent abilities, and his allies Nick, George, and newly arrived powerful telepath Avery begins plotting an escape, leveraging Avery's abilities. So while outside Tim, he is growing suspicious of the facility after a tragic event tied to Annie, a local woman who warns him about the Institute's cynical. And then there's stuff going on with Stackhouse and Dr. Hendricks secretly planning to sell the gift to children for profit. So initial thoughts, Corey, on graduation.
I'm still intrigued. I know I did not read the books, and I know that probably maybe it's a benefit on my part of not reading those, because it sounds like all of you that have read it enjoyed the books at the very least. Can I say that?
Yeah, I did.
For me, yeah.
Okay, so it sounded like there was a good reception of the books of the people on the panel that had read it. So I can completely understand if you have a book that you really enjoy or clicked with or whatever, whether you really enjoy it, whatever. I could see where if they deviate off of that, where it just throws it off because in your mind, you know where you think this story needs to go. And if they deviate from that or change characters or motives or I can completely understand where that could sour you on it a bit. And so that's where I'm saying I think that's a benefit in my part of not reading those. I don't have that going into it. It's all just new to me. And I'm going to say I'm still optimistic of this. I'm not saying greatest show ever, but I'm still liking where it's going, and it still has me after the end of this episode. I want to see the next one. They started teasing some stuff towards the end of it. We'll probably get there later, but I wanted to see more. And then now I'm like, okay, I got to wait till next week and to see maybe that more, but
okay. Hey, all opinions are welcomed on Horror with Nads. Good, the bad, the ugly. My whole saying is opinions are like buttholes. Sometimes they stink.
Well, and nobody would be right if somebody wasn't wrong, like me, right?
Yeah.
So
sorry, Corey.
Trina, I know you weren't here for episode 1 and 2, so you can kind of put your whole thoughts if you want to with the whole 3 episodes.
All right. Well, first I want to say, yeah, Corey, I am really glad that you're enjoying the show, and I do agree. I think it is a benefit that you haven't read the book, so you're able to just enjoy the show for what it is. And it's funny because when I found out that this was going to be a show, I found out this was going to be a show before I knew that it was a book adaptation. And I decided to read the book. And before I did, I was like, do I really want to do this? Because it's never like the books. But I felt like I needed to get the whole story. So, yeah, I'm dealing with that. I guess that's how people, who have a problem with Rings of Power are feeling because they've read the books and, that whole thing. But, yeah, so that's where I'm at. I felt like the first 20 minutes or so of episode 1 was fantastic. I was like, oh, this is starting off great. I have a lot of hope. And then it hit a wall right away where things were just totally different. And but I'm sticking with it. I am. I do feel that it's slower. It's a lot slower than I thought it would be. Characters aren't what I had envisioned because of what I've read. So yeah, I don't have a high rating of the show because of that. That's about it.
It could change. I mean, we are almost halfway through the season, right?
Yeah.
It's taking a while to get kind of off the ground, but maybe, who knows? Maybe now that we have the back half kind of included, we'll see some stuff that will, make it more entertaining. Sorry, Corey. Kyle, final thoughts. Oh, well, not final thoughts, but
final thoughts. So I got this video coming out, and blah blah blah. For those that don't know who were not here last time, she asked that at the end, and I didn't say my final thoughts about the show. It was about like what's going on my channel. Anyway, I have a rule, and is for shows, TV shows, if I get to episode 3, that show has to hook me. This has definitively not done that, and it's not going to. I have no faith in this show. I think it is a wannabe, bigger budgeted, even though it's low budgeted. That's the thing. It's a wannabe show that's trying to be Mike Flanagan mixed with a little bit of Lost, mixed with, whatever Stephen King adaptations, maybe The Shining, maybe Dr. Sleep a little bit. And I do not like this show. I think it literally has what seems, they only have 2 sets in this facility, or 2 or 3 sets. They have, and the same hallway. They look like they're using the exact same hallway you're showing right there. Every scene in the hallway is the same hallway with the windows on the side, and then they use it on the side with by the window to sit on them and do a little dialogue scene there. There are numerous instances in which we can get to it because you're going to go linearly through the episode. It's just ridiculous occurrences that do not make sense that the kids do. They literally are talking about their scheme at the end of this episode in front of all the adults. They're only 10 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Idiotic. Just,
also in front of cameras that have audio too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh. Click mute.
So that was one thing, not to jump in there, but I couldn't think of if they thought that was one of the safe spaces, because I remember them saying they kind of figured out some spots where the audio didn't pick up, and whether they thought some of those were still safe spots that didn't
they
catch
didn't
the
need
audio,
the audio recording device. They have their ears. They're 10 feet away from them.
No,
and
but
for
even
some
like,
reason,
no,
but like later,
when Avery and Luke are discussing
Avery?
it, they're sitting at a table with their backs to the camera, but that's not one of the safe zones. The safe zones is near their little, what's it called?
You're talking about a different
foosball.
scene.
Yeah.
Okay. I just couldn't remember if that was one of the spots that I thought they were out of range of that or not. But anyway, sorry. I'm quiet.
Go ahead, Kyle. Do you have anything?
Let's see. Because I got notes.
He brought the receipts, folks.
And we're not worried about spoilers, right? Or do you want to reveal them as we go on?
We could talk about spoilers as we go. Or now it's fine. This episode's been out since Sunday. If you haven't watched it since then, I don't know what to tell you. So you're all good.
Sweet. I'm glad Annie's dead. And the only thing positive I could say about this episode is that it's 45 minutes, not an hour.
I actually was wanting more from Annie. I thought there was going to be a bigger thing there with her than what happened. But
Annie should still be alive.
Well, that's what. Oh, for the book?
Yeah.
Okay. No, because when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's way too soon. I thought there would be something more that would come out of her talking with, Tim, the night knocker. I just thought there was going to be more to it. And then when that happened, I was like, man, that was cut way shorter than I thought it was going to be.
They're also condensing down a book into 8 episodes. Yeah, and it's obvious that they're not looking to do a season 2 if how fast we're moving at this point.
Yeah, sweet. I got that feeling as well.
Kyle.
Yep, seriously.
You know what's weird about Tim the Night Knocker is when he goes to find Annie in her tent, he's not able to knock. He has to zip.
Kyle, are you done? Can I let Toxic go? Okay, Toxic. Initial thoughts, and then we'll get to the episode. I'm sure.
I do have one major gripe with this episode, but it has nothing to do with the writing or the plot or anything. And we'll get to that. I mean, I guess you'll ask me as we move forward because you're not there in the slides yet. So, and maybe I'll just save it for the overall. But so you said okay for spoilers, but when you say that, you mean for the episode. So if I've read the whole book twice and I know the entire plot of the story, is that allowable? Or because I would like to answer some of the things.
I think we should keep that to the end of the stream where we're talking about the book versus
right,
the show differences.
Gotcha.
I was going to say, as long as everybody's okay with that, I would prefer not, just because I haven't read it and I'm kind of still following. But I'll love to know at the end. I want a great conversation.
Yeah.
When we get through all this whole thing where you're like, this is where the book went, and this is not where the,
whatever, Nadia usually prefers if like trivia stuff and things like that done at the end of things. So I kind of just been collating them and putting them. So
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different major differences that happened in this episode that are from from the book.
Okay, so just to clarify, so when something happens in the show that is different from the book, you prefer that we don't say, oh, this actually happens like this in the book?
Well, I guess that wouldn't bother me.
It's
just not the whole ending. The whole ending.
Yep.
So like in the book, if you were like, when you said Annie, oh, she lived way longer or whatever, she had a bigger part in the book. Like that doesn't bother me at all. I just don't want I just don't want the ending yet. But in each episode, if you're like, oh, in the book, this is where it went off path of, or the episode, this is where it went off path of the book. That would not bother me at all. But,
I have a question.
Okay.
Sounds good.
When does Annie die in the book?
If
at all.
Is that a spoiler? That might be kind of a spoiler. Do you think?
It is attached to a certain plot point, so I'm not sure I can answer that.
Yeah.
I probably just made things very difficult.
Yeah. But I can address one thing I can address without giving anything away. So there's a reason. So you're watching this and you're like, why are they so stupid to talk in front of the mic where they know there's microphones and stuff like that? There's more of Luke's ability that's going to be revealed, presumably. And again, I don't know what they'll decide to keep from the book and what they won't. So I'm kind of in the same amount of a dark. But if they do decide to stick with that, there'll be a reason why he has doing the things that he's doing and doing them in the way that he is doing.
Maybe playing on the little mind games with them a little bit.
He's very calculated. He's very than telekinesis abilities.
He's very smart.
Very smart.
His TK stuff is like a low tier. His big thing is like, I don't even know what, I don't think the book even gives it a term, but it's something I would call like operational awareness type. Things he's able to see through, plan these kind of things. And that's his value more than anything else is his ability to do that. So without giving too much away, there's a reason why things are happening. But since I've noticed one major change already, I'm kind of curious to see how they reconcile that with the story. But yes, watching it at face value, it is dumb that they would be talking in front of the cameras and stuff like that. But like I said, if they stick to the plot, there's a reason why. So that go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm just really quick. Maybe that whole chess scene with him and Nikki is kind of foreshadowing how he thinks through some of these things, like strategy, and throwing some things out there to throw off the opponent. And okay, that's got me even more intrigued. So I'm glad you brought.
And again, I don't have the benefit of seeing the entirety of the show.
Right.
It's like when me and Blue Collar used to do the Reacher show. I've read all the Reacher books, but the show does tend to go off a little bit. So there might be things where he's like, well, hey, what's going to happen? I'm like, look, I don't know, because if they diverge, then there's no real way for me to say that I'm expecting something to happen that will never fruition. So I have to see the entirety of it. And that's even more reason to stick to the whole plan with Nadia to do the trivia or do the, hey, this didn't happen in book versus show type thing after, because then I can say, well, this is what they did and this is what they didn't utilize. So I'm going through it each episode and writing it down. But yeah, not like I said, I have one major gripe with this episode, and it's just the little kid Avery's acting ability. I'll just get that out there. Horrible actor. He's horrible.
That actor fucking sucks.
He's one of the worst.
I don't care if he's a kid. Look, kids got to
No,
be
he's
told the
tough.
truth if they're going to be in the movie
No,
industry. Look,
Look at Stranger Things. They were all unknown named kids
Yeah.
when they started with season
Well, this
1.
has happened a couple times.
holy, are you kidding me? Stranger Things, the actors in that should get Golden Globes and Emmys for their performances compared to this kid.
Yeah.
No, he's terrible. I mean, he's not. I mean, I think he got off the wrong bus and to the institute. He's supposed to be on The Last of Us. I don't know what is going on, but
I think
so bad.
All the kids are pretty bad. I think it feels more like a stage performance than TV in my
I
opinion.
think-
Yeah.
They're acting
Yeah.
ability.
Yeah.
Nick- I
That's
think
exactly
Nick-
what it seemed like. It reminded me of the stage plays I did in grade school. The acting
I can
from
see
that
that.
kid.
I mean,
Yeah.
Nick is pretty good. Tony's, or if we're just talking about the kids, Nick is pretty good. Luke is kind of up and down. I think he's trying to remember his blocking and his lines at the same time, trying to do an American accent all in the same. I can't imagine.
Isn't he a Nepo baby too? Hold on.
He is.
Yeah, we
he's
went
the-
over
he's the
that.
Nepo baby.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's
I'm adding him to my
Bilbo
list.
Baggins. He's Bilbo Baggins' kid.
Martin Freeman. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what. Okay.
So, but yeah, no, it's. I thought this kind of found its legs in this one. There were some stakes that were introduced in this one that weren't there before. I did kind of find the whole, admin against the fixer guy, their head security guy, to be a little pedantic, especially if you have read and seen Firestarter, because they had the whole Rainbird versus
Tony?
Captain Hollister. No, Stackhouse versus
Stackhouse.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Sigsbee. That's kind of he's repeating himself. Stephen King is a lot with that, but I mean, it is true to the source material, so it is what it is. But I mean, it's been done before and much better. So that's bad. But I guess I didn't hate it to the level at which I really didn't hate it at all. If I'm being honest, it held my attention this episode more than the other two. So I mean, make of that what you will.
Do you know
I
who
think
the
it's
most
because
useless
it's shorter.
character- You know what the most useless character is on that entire show? George. I feel like he's just there. He's the Asian kid.
Georgina.
No, it's George.
Debatable.
And I got called a racist today. Kyle's over here just blatantly. I feel like there isn't much use out of him. Like, really, honestly, do you even notice him in scenes unless he's talking? Unless the camera's on him?
He's pretty quiet, but that's where I kind of wonder if some characters will have bigger roles later or not. I mean, maybe not, but if something.
Yeah, his introduction was a lot different in the book, and yeah, he has more of a presence in the book as well.
Okay.
I will say, if Kyle sticks with us to the end, he'll be pretty happy with Avery's outcome. Right, Trina?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So this episode opens up. Luke is getting experimented on. He goes under a brutal experiment led by Dr. Hendricks. I actually chuckled a little bit when he's like, Tony will slap you and then he will shock you, and it's not going to hurt, but it's going to be painful. Which I'm like, wait a minute. If it's painful, then it hurts. Yeah. And they inject him with a green liquid. He actually does start seeing colored dots,
but he
on
doesn't
the
admit
screen.
it.
Yeah.
Which
I thought they admitted it early in episode 1 and 2. Somebody said that they'll know, like they will notice if you lie to them and not say that you haven't seen the lights. Go ahead, Corey.
I was gonna say I figured, because as he's asking him, as I hit my microphone, sorry, he's looking at something that's measuring, like you see his brain waves and heartbeat and everything, whether he would know that. But with that whole PC plan that kind of got thrown out in the first 2 episodes, whether he's willing to put up with some lying because he knows what maybe the potential profit or outcome could be if he fits that category.
I think you're right on the money.
Okay.
I think he's trying to hide, because I think he's trying to prolong Luke being there longer.
Right. Because he even says, like, sorry, not to jump ahead, but like,
no, you're fine.
There's the conversation with Miss Sigsby, where he's just like, oh, he's kind of slower than we thought, kind of a thing. Like he's playing off some of the stuff, but I think he's noticing some potential there. Anyway, I'll stop.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think it's just not spelled out for the audience, which is fine. I prefer things not spelled out. I think, or it could be sloppy writing, one of the two. But yeah, I think if he knows Luke is seeing the dots, he's not telling anybody anytime soon.
But I think he's trying to serve his own purpose, because there's that other little plot line going on with him and the security guy that I'm
Stackhouse.
Yep.
I liked Zach's comment from earlier, if I can find it, where he was saying everybody came off a little too cartoonish. Where is it, Zach's?
I can see that with that Tony. The kind of
yeah.
He comes off. I could see that for him.
Tony's my favorite character. I'm rooting for him.
You're rooting for him because he's slapping the crap out of these kids.
Yeah, both me and Megan are.
When it was happening,
he's holding the kid's face. He's like, it hits him. It's great.
I'm gonna get my chakra
Can't is
out
a
next.
beta word. Yeah. Can't is I wanted that tattooed on me. Can't is a beta word. The kid almost died here too. If it didn't course correct, he almost got was it?
He was convulsing, and he was, and something? They were,
I think he was just playing it up.
He was. He was. He also didn't mention.
I've been there. I know what it's like to play things up when you're a kid.
He also didn't.
What do you mean this kid looks like he's about to die?
And he like passes out.
He has such a sensitive face. I mean, he gets like slapped in the cheek, and then he starts bleeding from his nose. I mean, geez. I mean, how sensitive can one kid be?
I'm liking the side of Kyle. I'm not going to lie to you. This is some good toxic shit here, and I'm here for it all day.
Semi-nihilistic.
Yeah, but
Nadia, I figured you'd like this.
Nihilistic.
Nadia, I thought you'd like this. You were talking about liking the kids getting slapped around the first live stream that we had.
I am the one that says she should have left Newt behind.
Yeah, that's where we draw the line there. I can't go with you on that.
Oh, Nadia crossed the line.
Yeah, you went to total nihilism.
You're telling me you are on a random ship with this xenomorphs everywhere. You don't even know this kid. This kid could be an asshole. You have no clue but who this kid is. You would put your life up for this child?
In the context of what happened to Ripley and what we find out in the director's cut.
In the director's cut, I didn't watch the director's cut. I watched the normal theatrical release, and there's no background story.
Fine. I won't talk about the director's cut.
Okay.
Just the pure situation of maternal instincts kick in, especially in the dead and darkness of space, and how populations are, down to just dozens in this case, and now down to almost zero.
Ripley's young enough; she can have a couple kids. She still can pop out a couple more if she makes it.
Yeah, if Hicks lived and fucking David Fincher didn't kill him off in Alien 3, the jackass.
Nadia, that was the theme of the movie. They got when the Marines see that it's a hopeless situation, they're still trying to rescue the colonists, and when they're overrun, Ripley goes in to save them, and then Vasquez wants to save Drake, and she wants to go back.
I'm not saving anybody against a xenomorph. I'm sorry to tell you this. Do not have me on your ship, because I will be the first one to trip you and get the fuck out of there. So nope.
I'll tell you right now, I'd try to save the kid, because if that was my kid, I'd hope another person that was in that spot. I am. Yeah, so I have that thought of, if that was my kid, I would hope some stranger would,
now if it was my dog.
Oh Jesus.
I might grab the dog.
You're gonna punch the xenomorph in the face. You're gonna be like,
but look, if I see in the first one, the cat's out. I'm sorry, cat's gotta go. And I have a cat.
Save the dog over the cat, I would say.
Yeah.
Plus cats are more spry. They can take care of themselves.
Yeah.
If the kid is doing something stupid, I find less of a inclination to help. But Newt wasn't doing anything stupid. She was actually trying to survive.
Newt was like, "Did you put her in charge?"
So,
I don't know what to tell you guys.
so Trina, did you expect this was going to be the debate tonight on the live stream? Or?
Yeah, look how the conversation is illuminating when we start talking about aliens and alien
live stream chat, the discussion.
Just
live
change
stream
this
discussion.
video and picture the screenshot to the Alien franchise.
Trina's like, what did I sign up for here?
It's all good. It's a great conversation. I think it's probably a better conversation than we could have about the show.
Oh no! Wow.
Hey, I thought you liked it, Trina. So
Yikes.
there you go.
Well, I think Trina said she liked the
Newt.
"Don't save Newt."
Damn.
I would save the
That's
kid.
going to be your hashtag now, Nadia.
Oh, I already have my first shirt. It's going to be Romulus with asterisks, greater symbol, aliens.
Well, can you on the back? Can you put hashtag "Don't save Newt" on the back?
Could be something, maybe. But because everybody gives me shit for the fact that I've said I like Romulus just slightly more than Aliens. I can appreciate Aliens. I think Aliens is a great action sci-fi film. But I like Romulus just slightly more because it's aesthetically more pleasing to me, and it's more horror.
God.
It leans more towards Alien. But everybody, and Zax is probably at his keyboard, goes, "Oh, she liked Romulus more than Aliens. She hated Aliens." I didn't hate Aliens, just like Romulus, just a slight more, just based off aesthetic alone.
Nadia, if I do an Alien franchise retrospective live stream with
Please
Hard
invite
Cut,
me.
we're going to give you a beatdown.
That's fine. That's fine. I was on
That.
for 2.5 hours with Niet for Film Comics Explained.
And I know you're
Talked
capable.
about Romulus.
I know you're able to handle it, and that's why I say so.
Dude, everybody was breaking down Romulus, giving shit, and it go quiet for a second, and I go, I still liked it.
Yeah.
I believe
And
I
that's why you're going to be good when you get onto Critical Drinker, etc. Okay.
I still liked it.
Anyway, speaking of kids that you want to beat, back to this guy. He's told directly. It's such a simple directive. Don't look away. Just look at the screen. Why is he trying to look away? There's nothing painful like blinding his eyes. He's trying to be rebellious on purpose.
Can I inject you with green gook and see how you feel when you're sweating and shaking, and if you can focus on a screen? I don't even like kids.
Hold on. Focusing and keeping your head straight is entirely different. Maybe his eyesight goes in and out of focus. That's different.
I had a hard time looking at that screen, and I wasn't even in the room. So, I mean, I was like, man, that'd be rough. So, I don't know. But, I mean, again, I would point out that he does see the dots, but he doesn't tell them he sees the dots.
What's so averting about the dots?
Okay, so if you don't mind.
Yes, go ahead.
This is actually a big issue I have with the show so far, is there's actually a lot of context around the lights that they see, and there's huge conversations between Nick, Shaw, and Luke about the lights and how the shots are going to make you feel, and what you should do about, like if you see the dots and everything. There's a lot of context that they've just omitted from the show, and that's why you guys have so many questions like, why is he doing this? Why, you know what I mean? That's a huge problem to me. They've left a lot of context out, and I don't understand why, other than propelling the plot forward, but at the expense of answering or at least explaining a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they took out everything great about the book in the horror context of it, in the mystery, and just was like, this is too hard to adapt. We're just going to kind of dumb it. In a sense, dumb it. And this is no insult to anybody enjoying the show, but
I feel insulted.
If you've read the book, it feels like they dumbed down the source. I'm sorry, Corey. Yeah. But it does. It really does.
So, Trina, hearing you talk about there's an explanation as to why he's behaving that way, or he doesn't want to or can't look at the screen, blah, blah, blah. None of that is conveyed in this scene. Right. If I were a script doctor in this situation, and I was reading this, or even before where they went into production, I would say, well, it says in the description he looks away, or if you're on the set, he's looking away. How about you have a moment where Tony says, "Hey, kid, why are you Psh, why are you looking away? Look straight. This is the easiest fucking thing you could do. And then the doctor, whatever his name is, Stackhouse, says, well, no, he's reacting because of blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the thing we injected, and it's happening because of this.
That's
It'd be a simple explain away.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. That's another way they could have done it. If they didn't want to go like stick to strictly source material, they could have done it that way. It would have been easy to do.
Well, I mean, I'm of two minds with that. I mean, on the one hand, I'm inclined to agree with you guys, but on the other hand, if you've read the book, there's a ton of child abuse stuff that happens in the book. That one, they're just clearly they're not going to put in this miniseries.
Not on MGM Plus.
They're not going to do that. And then two, they don't have the time for it. So they've kind of condensed it. So they're trying to get in enough of the child abuse stuff from the institution in order to, convey that point. And then, they're probably faster. I agree that they could have give some, expository dialogue for that. But at the same time, that they're trying to get in as much, abusiveness to the kids as, I mean, there's like literally like like almost an entire chapter of Tony like dry interrogating Luke and trying to explain to him his position in the institute and what it is that he's there for, kind of redundant when you factor in what Sigsbee has already told him. But I mean, Tony goes into like greater depth, and then all the while he's doing it, he's like beating the crap out of the kid. And in keeping in mind that it's not a 14, 15-year-old kid, it's a 12-year-old Luke. So in the book, so I think they want to show how sadistic that Tony can be, and especially as it is in regards to Luke that he sees as a troublemaker. And at the same time, they have to tone it back to a certain degree because they can't show all of it. So that's my thoughts.
Sure.
Pause 1 second. This is slander, Zax, and I will not take it. You will be hearing from my lawyer on it. I never said I'm glad Bill Paxton is dead. So
yikes.
Yeah, you didn't say that.
Yeah, for you, Zax. There you go. All right.
Oh, you gotta like slow that clip down to really get the effect.
Yeah.
You gotta have a montage of multiple characters giving the bird. Yeah.
For the record,
there's a lot of movie clips you can get that are doing that.
Yeah.
You just have like a bunch of.
Ooh, if Vex is listening, I'll have to ask her.
Like a little, 5-second montage with music, like dun
And just like dun dun dun. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, and all monetization's gone.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll say, so I'm interested still to finish the series, but I'm gonna wait till after it. But I'm gonna check out the audiobook of this after we're done for sure.
Well, have fun with that.
I recommend. Wait till you're done though.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. At this point, I gotta wait because from what I'm hearing from you all, I just want to do the series kind of blind, and then when it's done, I definitely want to go back and check it out.
Yeah,
but I'll wait.
A really good, actually, I would say it's better than the book, Stephen King adaptation that came out in the last couple of years. The Outsider by HBO. Really great, really great series. Yes.
I haven't seen it.
Better than the book. The book's great. I read the book. Yes. Be quiet, Musk. Shh.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It is.
I'm not a good judge of these things, but I'm
Jason
sensing some
Bateman,
disagreement between the two of you.
After Welcome to Derry, I want to go back and retro cover that because I really enjoyed it.
Please let me in on that.
I would love to be there for that.
Okay. It's really good. It's way better than this. Way better than
it
this.
is way better than that. Yeah, it is way better than this. That's for sure. Easily. It's not even a contest how much like the HBO series very well done. Jason Bateman is incredible in it. So is that Australian guy.
Well, can HBO push things a little further too than
they
MGM
can
Plus?
They can, but they didn't even really have
for that
to.
one.
Yeah, no, they just Cynthia Erivo as the character that she plays in The Outsider is a recurring character that's shown up in multiple as a protagonist in multiple Stephen King books. And that wasn't a good call. Yeah, Holly Sidney.
That is the only. Even then, that's fine. I liked it enough for it, and
No, I liked it, but it's not better than the book. That's craziness.
It is. And I love Stephen King books. Anyway, I digress.
Anyway,
an hour
this
into the stream.
screenshot of Prince
Oh.
Caspian topless. Let's appreciate it. I know why you did this, Nadia. You put it on there on purpose. You're probably not going to say anything about this scene because it really isn't a scene. It's just him opening the drapes, and then we cut to him, doing something else.
I do have something important to say about the scene. The
Right.
editing from the Institute to this was horrendous.
Correct.
To the other.
Correct.
So there you go, Kyle. All right.
I have something to say. Actually,
It was just a happy coincidence. He had his shirt off and was like,
I do like the real. I mean, I don't know what Stephen King does for research. He seems to be very knowledgeable about a lot of different occupations because when he goes into detail, and he does in his books, he seems to really get a good grasp. So I did a live stream after our last Institute live stream of my own, just basically just showing people like what I do as a night knocker and stuff, and the way that he, what's his character's name again? I forget.
Tim.
The way that Tim goes about his day, being, you're asleep when everybody else is awake, and then you're awake when everybody's asleep, and his routine is. I thought that was really cool. I was like, I really got the gist of what he was doing with this, and I thought it was pretty accurate to it. It's well written as well. I mean, obviously the book goes into greater detail, but I mean that it's really a thankless position that, walking around, keeping everything safe, making sure things don't burn down and there's no burglaries and, crazy transient stuff happening while everybody else is, tucked away in bed asleep, and you're just kind of like wandering around the town with a flashlight and a radio. It's I think he got that really well, and I think it conveys good. I like this actor. I think this actor is really good in this performance.
Ben Barnes.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'll say he's been a standout so far, I think.
Because he's the most fleshed out character out of the whole series.
And I'm really interested.
And he's
to
really
see where,
fleshed out in this shot.
fleshed out completely.
But I'm saying
Check
he
out
shouldn't
that.
be. The characters at the Institute, like in the book, you kind of get Tim's story as it goes through, like you get back in the fourth, but it's mostly focused on the Institute and the kids and stuff. And I feel like the kids are not fleshed out at all as characters. They're kind of just like
You're right.
insert any type of generic boy and this generic girl. Like there's nothing that makes them different from each other, where I feel like we're focused, and I'm not saying this is well done fleshed out, but I feel like we get more of Tim's story. Like we know his background a little bit better. We know how he's feeling. We can kind of see how he's conveying things versus the kids is just.
And we kind of got a little deeper story with him too, with the whole like the incident, and the shooting and everything.
What's everybody's thoughts on the change of the incident from the book to the show?
I didn't have the book, but I remember you guys talking about the change.
Do you think it works better that the incident was more in the show version of it?
I think the book version would have you way more depressed and thrown off.
Well, the book version isn't as serious as it's.
Clarify the difference is the kid had a real gun or a fake gun for which
not even
iteration?
it was it was Tim fires into the ceiling and he doesn't hit anybody, but it causes a disturbance, and he was drinking and getting ready to go to getting fitted to go to a wedding or a reception or something like that, and he didn't like shoot a kid or anything like that, but he fired off a round into the ceiling.
Thought he accidentally.
I misunderstood
that.
that.
Hot minute. I thought he accidentally killed a kid.
That's what
No, he didn't kill the kid.
Okay.
I thought last week when we were talking about it, I thought the kid had a toy gun. He thought it was real and shot him.
Yeah. I mean, I
That's-
like
that's-
that.
that's
Hold
the
on.
show.
Tox, you're saying in the book he shot the ceiling and a piece came falling down like a Looney Tunes episode?
Well, I mean that happens, yes, but it's also the fact that he discharged his. I mean, I know that
Did the kid die in the book?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, then I would say this is more
that's pretty
traumatic than for the show.
Obviously killing a kid, but then they kind of make it almost understandable in the in the show, because it's like, what else was he going to do? But at the same time,
there's been stories like that though. I thought that's what you all were saying last week. Like he went in, a kid had a toy gun and was he takes him down and then finds out it's a fake gun. And
that's one of the side plots in Die Hard.
Yeah.
You could say that's one of the redemption arcs, is that the cop from Family Matters and Die Hard finds it in him to kill again. when he wasn't able to before. So I mean, it's
okay. So I misunderstood that from.
No, well, I mean, you didn't read the books. There's no way you would
Right.
know that. But I mean, yeah, it's just so you know, as a peacekeeper, it's pretty serious to discharge. Like you can't just
for sure
flash off around, and you certainly can't do it in the ceiling. So I mean,
for sure,
and it spoke up. He's like, I had a choice. I could either fire off a warning shot or kill this kid, and I didn't want to do that.
So what's the problem or the trauma in the book that he's dealing with?
There is no real trauma. It's just he fired from a job. He's drinking too much, lost his wife. That's like a pretty serious thing. If you've been a lawman for a long time and you lose your job, I mean, I know in reality you usually get hired on somewhere else. And in fact, he was going to be hired on in another place,
but he changed his mind.
He kind of felt like, he had this weird urge. I've seen some Reddit threads that say maybe there was some psychic component to it. Like, if you read a lot of Stephen King books,
everybody has The Shining.
Yeah, he has this thing called Ka, which is like fate and destiny are all intertwined, and you will go to a place that, without really understanding it, so Stephen King himself had never did this, but I mean, he has a real penchant for writing characters that go on these like long walkabouts and kind of drift from place to place and get in adventures and do things like that. So, and then, Tim's no different.
I bet.
I want.
Hey, Nadia, can you feature Zach's comment right there?
Which one?
The one about the anvil.
Yeah, he didn't drop.
I enjoyed that.
I think the last stream, that was my mistake. For some reason, I got it mixed up in my notes. I thought I haven't read the book in years, and I hadn't time to reread it. So that's on me on it.
Strike one, Nadia. Strike one.
I know.
No, it's not a strike.
No, I'm joking. But I could see where that would really throw somebody off, where you end up finding out there wasn't a real threat, but you took deadly force to stop it. I
think it works. I think it plays better. I think it plays better in the show than it does, because in the book you're kind of just like, okay, he's just kind of a drifter to be a drifter.
I would ask, what's this guy's fucking problem? He just seems like a whiny bitch.
So in the show, I can definitely see that. Even if there was a true gun, true bullets, even after all of that, you're just like, I took down this person that their age, it's a kid to me. And even if you knew that was a better outcome than if he would have opened fire on that whole place, you still would have that guilt of like, I mean, that's a child, and he's a police officer that has been sworn to protect people, and he did protect people. But when you have, I don't know, I could see where that would really haunt somebody, whether they knew that was a legitimate threat or not. It still haunt them.
This is where I can commend the show for being better than the book.
Well, they also underestimate Wendy's position in the book too. Wendy and Tim's has like an actual romance that goes back. That's the other deputy cop that you see.
I thought you were talking about maybe there's a deleted scene I didn't see of him going to Wendy's to get some food, maybe for Annie as well. I mean, that would make total sense, right?
Well, yeah, we still have more than half of the season left. You don't know.
He might go to Wendy's and actually
romance
get some
that far.
Yeah.
Wendy and Tim have been talking a little bit more once in a while when they're in the office, but
yeah, she does give him kind of the third degree about like who really did save the gas station owner. And I mean, come on, guys.
My God, can
it's
she fucking back off?
Well, and he even says that
obvious
too.
Anyway,
he was like, "How about you give that?" Oh, I'm forgetting the other guy's name. The other cop that is taking some of the credit. Either way, he was like, you should cut him a little slack. He's trying his best. And she's like, I have cut him a lot of slack. And then he was like, well, how about try cutting me a little slack? And
why should I? Well, I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
Nice guys don't have to say.
But then he's like, well, if you say so, so I kind of like that.
He should have said, hey, can you take a chill pill?
Yeah.
No,
but I think that 2
steps back off my nuts, please. Thank you.
Yeah, right. But I think that was his way of saying that too. I was like, well, how about you cut me a little bit of that slack? And I there's that sparring going on between the two of them, so that I wouldn't be surprised if something comes up later in the series between the two of them. But
you think they're probably gonna get it on? Yeah.
Kyle, I wasn't going to go that crudely with it. Come on. No, I'm
All
joking. Right. I'm joking.
You think a man and woman getting it on is crude. Okay.
Kyle, I am totally joking.
Having adult relations.
I'm totally joking.
Getting it on can just mean a makeout sesh too, Corey.
I was just joking, but your look to me was what I wanted. You're like, are you being serious right now? Anyway,
I'm here.
Trina, how are we doing?
Yeah. How are you, Trina?
I'm well. I'm well. This is a great conversation. I'm loving it.
I want to hear what you got to say on that. With that whole, what'd you think of that?
About getting it on? What?
No. Trina, I'm trying to bring it back on track here. But what did you think of? And I know you know the book and then the series too. But what did you think about that little verbal sparring between Tim and Wendy, the characters that we were talking about?
I had a little bit of an eye roll moment over it.
Okay.
You know, because that's
there you go. Yeah.
It's so common in media now. You know what I mean? So yeah, a little bit of an eye roll. And it's a little different in the book, of course. Okay. And yeah, I don't want to say too much about Wendy's role. You know, her character, well, yeah, she's just a little different in the book, and you know, the whole.
I think we can say that. I think that would be okay, wouldn't it, Nadia? We can talk about the difference in Wendy.
Wendy plays more, because she is a love interest of Tim, plays a bigger role in the book than so far than what she's had. Trina, I'm curious to ask, what do you think about the fact that the Institute is in the same town that Tim is the Night Knocker? Because in the book they're not that close. It's quite a bit away.
Yeah, that was actually I'm mad that I missed the first stream, because that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Yeah, the Institute is in Maine, and all this takes place like the where him, like Wendy, the police station, and where Tim ends up is actually Dupre, South Carolina. And so, yeah, that was a huge deviation from the book. I guess to make filming easier, that would be my guess, cut costs. And also Wendy's supposed to be a redhead. That's not a big, I know, but it's ginger erasure.
Do you ever find that though? I found that when I'll admit I go to audiobooks more than reading just because I'm a slow reader. But do you ever find that when you read or listen to a book or read a book, you get a character in your mind, and then you see a movie or a show later about that, and you're like, no, that's not what they look like in my mind, and it kind of throws you off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
I've actually read books and heard about like who might be in the book, but they don't say which character they're going to play. So I'm kind of like trying to figure out, like, just for instance, I read Dennis Lehane's The Drop before the movie came out, and I had just heard they were making a movie and they were going to have James Gandolfini and Tom Hardy, and I was like, who is going to play who? I wonder out of those characters.
And you were having trouble placing them from what you read in the book.
Yeah. So I will also point out that as moving forward, it should be known that Wendy is considered like I don't want to say a useless component in the thing, but like she's kind of coming off like she pretty much is the de facto second in charge or running the department on the show, when in the book she's basically only good for clerical type stuff and is not in any way a good operator as far as, out there with a gun and a badge and a car and a nightstick and things like that. So after the incident with the incident with the gas station, the chief doesn't even hesitate to swap out Tim and put Ed, who is still alive in the book, back on the Night Knocker position and say, listen, I want you on the streets. I need a good cop. The other guy's old. He can do the Night Knocker stuff. And then, we'll get somebody else later on down the line. But, you're too good to be wasting doing this when none of this. Now, maybe it'll still happen, but as of this episode, it has not. And in the timeline of the story, this is when this would have happened. So, yeah.
Yep.
Can you say, does it really describe in the book how long a period of time that the book
it's
runs?
yeah. So what they do in the book is that they go far with Tim's story, and then they backtrack to start off where Luke's narrative begins.
Okay.
So like we're way into the whole Night Knocker becoming a officer stuff with Tim down in Dupre, South Carolina, and then it like, hey, 3 months ago or whatever, you know what I mean? Like they do a whole different time thing where the story catches up with itself with that. So and like Nadia pointed out, they, in order to keep the narrative flowing a little bit better, they jump from Tim's POV to Luke's POV over at the Institute.
Yeah. The book does it way better, I think, than the show. I think the show, if they could have done maybe 13 episodes, maybe a little bit longer, maybe have done like an episode focused on Luke, then an episode focused on Tim, then back to the Institute, instead of this back and forth. Because half the time I forget what's going on within the episode because of how jarring the editing is to go from Institute to Tim and back and forth.
Editing is shit, boss. The editing is so bad.
I'm with you on this, Megan. I don't know why he was not suspicious of Kate interrogating him. Like, he's a bad cop.
I replied to that too. I figured if he was such a decorated cop before, he would have been like, wow, you're kind of taking a weird angle with this, or asking.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have said that. He would have been thinking that because he would have played it dumb. Right.
But I think
I did want to say something about the scene. It's actually the first. This fucking scene should have happened in the first episode. This is the first time that we see some progression in the character, in his inquisitive nature of, what is the Institute? What is that? First time he's actually asked that question. And it's episode 3. Too little too late, guys.
Yeah, we're halfway through the season almost.
But that's where I got mad, where he was throwing out what his conversation with Annie. Like, I'm like, I could see, you know what that.
I'm
what
a little
that
more
lady is.
forgiving. I'm a little more forgiving of it, just due to the fact that, number one, we have we already know, so it's not like, you know what I mean?
Right,
like,
I know.
We know if we hadn't seen the scenes that we've seen with the assassin, interloper chick, Kate, whatever her name is, if we didn't know that, then we might be suspicious just because we are seeing with God eyes. But Tim is just in this random town. And she said that she was a reporter for the thing, and she's naturally inquisitive, and he's a good looking dude. He's probably had chicks throw their cat at him before and want to ask a bunch of questions and stuff, and he hasn't been with anybody in a while, so he'd probably think, maybe if I blab a little bit, maybe she'll maybe he was thinking out loud and stuff like that. Now, if he doesn't immediately figure it out, after,
take it easy, Nadia. Take it easy.
I'd investigate him. Take it
easy.
Whoa,
Ben Barnes, hell yeah. Sorry, Chris, if you're still listening. I don't know.
Chris knows who you're coming home to. It's okay. But I mean, if he doesn't immediately get to DEFCON 4, DEFCON 1, whatever the high DEFCON is, if he doesn't immediately get to that after Annie shows up unalive, then I would say that's stupidly written. But I don't foresee that happening. But
the thing that kind of bothered me with that was his backstory with his mom, and then there was that comment that Wendy made, like, well, every town's got one, the crazy person, and he was she was like, I'm sorry, and he was like, no, it was a long time ago, it's okay. But all that backstory that he would then just be to a stranger at a bar, be like, oh, crazy Annie, you hear about what she was talking about, and I don't know, that kind of threw me off.
It's just to move the plot forward, to be
honest.
I
know, but that threw me
writing.
Off. Yeah,
it's poor adaptation of this, which is, they could have done a lot. And I know Trina probably agrees with me. They could have done a lot with this series. They could have easily made this into 2 seasons if they have taken their time to flesh out the characters, get your interest into it, and then maybe ended on a cliffhanger where you're finally at the point where maybe Tim and Luke are about to, when they meet. Or I don't want to, I'm trying to be vague because I don't want to spoil the book for it. But
well, I know they're going to have to
in
meet
the book,
at some point,
in the book, when it's that point of meeting, I just don't want to tell how or what. That could have been the cliffhanger, and then we would have finished off. But I guess they're just trying to pack everything into those one season.
I will say that I know you've said it's a little jarring, or a lot jarring for you, like jumping back and forth between the storylines, the kids, and then Tim, and that kind of storyline going back and forth. But it's got me interested when these two worlds are going to collide at some point. I figure there's going to be a collision at some point where his curiosity is coming up, and then the kids are trying to escape, and I'm really looking forward to how that comes together.
This is a common problem for anyone that's watched a lot of Stephen King adaptations. This is a common problem that he's had through a lot of stuff where the editing is very poor. They're trying so hard to stick to the source material on a lot of stuff. The only really fluid editing stuff that I've seen of Stephen King tends to be when you have like a top tier director like Darabont, or you have a story that was written for the screen like Sleepwalkers. But when you have things like The Stand, both versions, I might add, the first version of it, the Langoliers abomination of, any number. I mean, I could rattle off like 10 or 15 of them off the top of my head. But when you have those, it's really difficult for them to, make the narrative run smooth. Thinner was one I just recently watched, because I plan on doing a book versus film deep dive on that, because I've already done a video on it last year and I wanted to follow up on it because I'm rereading it now. But like all of those adaptations of them are really bad about editing the narrative and making it flow. It does not flow very well, just because Stephen King does little tricks in his book that can't be done. Like just for instance, the book he does a trick where he'll end one narrative from the 1957 timeline and begin in the 1987 timeline, I think it is, or 1985 timeline. And like you'll have one character saying something and then finishing the thought or the sentence in the present day, what was present day at the time thing. That's so hard to do. That's why the original miniseries is, and they dropped that when they redid it in 2017, because they were like, this is impossible. This can't be done. So yes, then
Here's my first edition.
Nice.
Sinner.
Great book, by the way.
Awesome.
Great book. Not a bad adaptation, but it does suffer from a lot of the, I call it like the Sci-Fi Channel or USA Network TV movie syndrome, where it's just very badly edited, and I guess
I'll tell you why. I know exactly why. Because King's name will sell anything. You put Stephen King's name on it, it's going to sell anything. So they're going to try to do everything as possible at low cost for the highest profit. So things are going to suffer unless you have big studios such as like, as much as It Chapter 2 was a disappointment, It Chapter 1 and 2, big studio productions for it. They put in time and effort.
If you have a director like Mike Flanagan.
Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan, the Stand By Me director, I forget his name.
Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner, thank you. Shawshank Redemption, Darabont,
Green Mile.
I forget who did that one. But yeah, I mean, if you have those, but again, those narratives lend themselves to being adapted. They're almost written in such a way where they need to be. A couple exceptions of the lower tier ones is like Needful Things pulled it off pretty good. I thought Needful Things was it's
a product of its time, but it's not too bad.
I think it's okay. Yeah.
I actually think Salem's Lot is one of the best next to Pet Sematary. I would say those two are the original one, the 70s, not this garbage that came out last year.
Okay.
I think the original one is better. Actually, funny enough, I know one of the head special effects guys for the remake that came out on HBO last year, and he said what they initially were going to put out is not what they put out. Like they cut and edited and they filtered and a lot of.
Is it still rated R though? The remake?
I think so.
Pet
Sematary is also not the remake, reboot, whatever the fuck that was a year or so ago. I'm talking about like the original Pet Sematary, not the sequels, is a really good adaptation of the book. But I feel like those are the only two. I really like I think the original Salem's Lot is way scarier than the stupid remake that came out a year ago.
I think that
anyway.
Side note, but just really quick, this picture you're showing right here, from the end of the second episode, I thought Avery was going to be a lot younger than what this character looks like right now. Just when he was like all curled up crying, I thought he looked a lot younger. I I don't know, from what I was remembering. Then when I saw
this is-
him, I know
think
he's still young, but he looks older than what I was
Yeah, I
imagining.
think this is source accurate. I'd have to look to a specific chapter, but I'm pretty sure this is pretty source accurate.
Okay.
I think he's supposed to. I think he looks here like he's 11 or 12, and I think he really is at 11 or 12 in the book. So
I don't know why I was just thinking. You know what I'm talking about? Like at the end of that second one where he's all curled up on the floor.
yeah. No,
Yeah, he looks a lot like a
I thought
toddler.
he-
He's supposed
yeah.
to be 10 years old. Yeah.
I thought he looked
Yeah.
younger than what this character looks right now. But
Yeah.
it's probably, I'm sure it's the same kid, but I was just expecting a lot younger.
You can almost see the cue cards from off the camera. Him reading off of them, like, so bad. He's not even looking at the characters that he's talking to. Oh, she's really worried. She has secrets. She's really worried about this right now. I wonder if they're gonna stick. Oh man.
You know,
Can't-
characters who try to
I
be
don't know.
all
I don't think they're
like
going to stick to her.
to have like powers that are telepathic, yada yada. They try to do, and even directors, I can blame the director for doing that, where they try to seem, you know, otherworldly, where they're kind of off and they're thinking and they're, you know, you remember the scene where he's in the POV of the dog and all that stuff, and they go into their own world, and there's no connection. Like Tox, you were saying that's what I'm bouncing off of. There's no eye-to-eye contact, and we saw that all the way in episode 1 with Shaw, where she's just saying things and just, you know, they're walking side by side, but there's no eye-to-eye contact with these characters, and you don't see them connecting. Therefore, I think you do not connect to characters when you don't see them connecting.
No facts.
Yeah. I agree. Because this episode's boring. Sorry, Corey. Toxic. Maureen here. It's Maureen, right? I'm saying that right. I think so. Yes. No? Whatever.
Yeah.
I was
Anyway.
laughing because
Yeah.
I'm
I
getting
didn't know if that was
trashed on
directed.
for
I didn't know if
liking-
you were reading it or you were directing that at us.
Is that a question or a statement?
It's a statement and a question at the same time. She plays a way bigger part in the book. I heard you earlier, Toxic. I don't know if they would do that. Her ending. It's pretty extreme.
They haven't stuck to the thing so far. So I don't even know. Would it be a spoiler for me to say what his in with her is?
Yes,
or
that would be a spoiler for Corey. Yeah,
Oh,
that would be a
okay.
big
think
spoiler.
so.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, I don't care.
sorry. But she's getting. I feel like the first 2 episodes, she was kind of in the background, not much to her. She was just kind of the nice lady who kind of like takes care of them, and now they're kind of giving her a little bit of speaking role, like giving her lines to actually say and stuff, and pinpoint her against the institute and stuff. And I guess we can allude to, like, in the book, she has a lot of financial issues that kind of in
That's what I was gonna say, but okay.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say what happens to her.
No,
towards
I was gonna say the in that he has, where it's like the ex-husband has run off and left her in debt, and she's got the
Yeah.
creditors, and it's more, you know, the machinations of Luke, you know, knowing, you know, because he knows the insides and outsides of certain stuff, which, you know, he kind of comes up with not really a financial plan, but a way in which to deal with the debtors and auditors and creditors, which is, again, that's why they have a hold. That's why you could argue that the Institute has a hold on her, is because, I mean, you know, you're not going to usually get this kind of work out of just regular Joe Schmo operators from, you know, the clandestine things. You got to have somebody that you have a hook on, like they're,
Oh, for sure, a
you know,
hook. Yeah.
yeah. So
apologies for my
her-
camera being off. I have a contact issue that is just like rolling up on me. But yeah.
Well,
And
put it on
her
screen. We
and-
want to see it. Come on.
Her
Yeah,
and
you guys
Luke
seem to dig into
actually end up like Luke and her have this kind of, they've developed this friendship, which I don't see them going that route on the show.
Like
Yeah,
in
I don't-
this part
I
of the
agree
book,
with
they
you.
would have been a little closer, maybe? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Or, yeah.
Yeah, like
She's
yes.
almost a mother figure, I would say, for the kids in the book.
Yeah, she's nice to all the kids, and so well, like the caption says, Kali should trust me, so they all do, and that's true, except for Nick. Nick is still kind of like the wild child. He doesn't trust anybody. He's
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, Luke ends up kind of forming a bond with her.
Yeah.
In the book. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll have to see if that goes that way. Well, I saw that where, where this episode kind of threw me a little bit with her, with this conversation that you have right now on the screen. Because, there was some of the things when like Luke was going through some of his first shots and tests or whatever, where she was like, giving him a stick of gum and just kind of like, hey, maybe you want to lay off the lunch today, or it just seemed like more of a motherly kind of advice, or like looking after them. And then when I saw this, I was like, well, there's another little dark twist here, probably with her, but I have to see.
That's a good question for the panel, though. If you're given a position at something like this where they're like, we're going to financially take care of you and your family, you're fine, would you torture kids? Would you keep silent?
Nadia is yes. Nadia is yes.
She's not torturing kids.
She's just like, she's like, let Newt die.
Yeah, if Newt's in and amongst those children, yeah.
See,
Newt is a survival decision. Okay,
Right.
That's based off survival. This is based off like
I'm
you
just
financially
giving you a hard
are
time.
set for the rest of life.
No,
So,
I would not. No, there's different problems you'd have to deal with if you took that type of deal. You got to. I'm sure you would be haunted with crap like that or at least I would be. If I did that. And you go
I need
down
to know
a
what the
dark
paycheck's
path.
going to look like.
No,
See,
I'd
Corey,
say
you
no.
only say that to be fair.
No,
Can I?
no, like honestly,
I actually believe Corey on this one. Yeah.
I honestly, I truly base that on. Have you ever seen like, not to go? Okay, I'm gonna go off track a little bit again. But there's some shows that are like Lotto Nightmares, and they show people that they win the big mega jackpot, and their life goes to complete trash. There's addictions. There's people coming out of the woodwork. There's stabbing in the back. There's murder, marriage failing, kids not talking, family coming out of the woodwork and then hating you, and they're like, it's just a different level of problems or a different set of problems. So I honestly, no, I would deal with my struggles with my regular everyday bills over doing that to kids.
The lottery reference is a storyline they go into in Lost with Hurley.
Yeah.
I've never watched Lost.
Well, number one, she doesn't do any of that stuff to the kids, so that's one thing. And I mean, she might be witnessing it, but I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can compartmentalize and justify things. I mean, I spent 3 years solid in Iraq, and I mean, kids are not treated very well there, but I didn't feel the urge to go try to save every single kid that, I ran across, or any of them really. And I mean, it's a big difference between saying the abstract notion of, well, we're going to wire money into your account, or we're going to, as opposed to someone handing you a duffel bag full of $100 bills. Until you've actually seen that. And keep in mind, I'm trying to keep it toned down because I've been spoken to before for stuff I say on Nadia Stream, so I'm going to keep this PG-13. But I mean, until you've been given a bag of money and seen what that looks like, when prior to that you were possibly looking at losing your car and your home and your life and, going to debtor's jail. Like, what if you were in a bad divorce and, your kid needed a heart transplant and you had no money? Yeah. I mean, and then someone offers you that and says, listen, we'll clear up some of this debt, and we'll, all we need you to do is kind of look the other way for this. I think it's really easy to say no in the abstract, that you would do the right thing. But I mean, we do a lot worse every single day for nothing. We do it every single day. We give away, our honor and our fortitude for absolutely nothing, for just to exist and have Netflix and occasional Burger King and stuff. So I think to say that, if you were destitute and looking to be getting sent to prison because you didn't pay your child support or something like that, when someone's offering you a lifeline and it's like, listen, we just need you to clean up after some kids that we may or may not be doing experiments on, and just keep your mouth shut about it and sign this NDA. I mean, that's... Well,
yeah, I could completely understand. Like, you could like create some horrible scenario I live my life in, and yeah, that could be a difference. But like today, the life I live right now, It's not super plush, but you know, I have a great family. You got kids that are growing up. If it was offered to me in the situation I'm right now, I could say definitely no.
Well, sure, because they wouldn't need to recruit.
Exactly.
They would recruit. This is why.
Absolutely.
This is why when you're in law enforcement in the military,
you look for the weak ones.
Mm-hmm. You can't keep a security clearance in the military, and you can't keep your badge in law enforcement if you're in any serious debt, because you become a risk.
Absolutely. So no, I was just clarifying there. So I agree with you completely. There's probably some horrible scenario in my life. You know, if it happened, who knows what would, you know, hopefully I would never be in that position to have to, but anyway, Trina, I
thought you were a godly man, Corey.
I'm something, I guess. I don't know. Take it or leave it. But Trina, I cut you off. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, I'm with Corey on this one. I think that I think your moral foundation comes into play when you, especially if, you know, like if you're recruited to work somewhere and you have no idea what they're doing, that's one thing. But once you find out, then it's totally on you and your moral obligation to do the right thing. And I think that's why I think Nick has a problem with Maureen, is because of that. Like he, you know, like, no, she doesn't do any kind of bad things to kids. And in fact, she actually tries to be good to them, but she knows what's going on. That implicates her.
Yeah. I mean, it's, what do they say? You're guilty by submission. I mean, you're like, you're not, omission. Sorry. Thank you. Toxic. Yeah. Thank you. I knew I was saying it wrong, but yeah, you have knowledge, you could take steps, but you're not taking steps. Yeah.
My contact broke in my eye. It ripped in half. The other half is still in my eye, but I'm okay. I can barely see anything.
Are you just going to go like this for the rest of the stream?
I guess. I don't know how it happened, but I pulled out one half of it, but the other half is still in there. I can feel it.
Oh, God.
So
sorry.
It's all right. I can see out of this eye. I just can't see out of this eye real well.
Well, if you need to wrap anything up, you just
Chris,
let us know.
Get her an eye patch stat. Let's go.
Actually, do I have one?
Pirate Nadia.
I have one. I think Maureen is the contrast to Tony, where Tony is so extreme and what's the word when you enjoy hurting people?
Sadistic.
Sadistic.
Where
is
Maureen,
that a masochist or a sadist?
Sadist.
The other one enjoys infliction of pain on themselves.
Which one is which? I was going to mix that.
Masochist is the one that likes to be beaten. Sadist is the one that likes to be
thank you. I always mix them up, but thank you.
Where Maureen is, I think I don't think she's a good person because she works here, right? There's kids that have come and gone here, but I think she is the opposite of what Tony is, where I think she still, even though she knows what's happening, she still has some empathy for these kids and don't think the kids should be here, where Tony's like, fuck it, I'm slapping kids left and right. Well, let's go kind of job. Like he's
no one says anything.
Tony's like,
wait, cool it down a little bit. Give him a couple minutes. No.
Yeah.
Tony's like, I'm getting paid for this. Yay. And then, she at least,
I'll work for free overtime.
I'm not like giving her a free pass, but she seems a little conflicted about.
To be fair, also Tony is a little more nuanced in the book. In the book, Tony is more, at least he says that he's in this not just for the love of the game, although he is definitely a sadist, but he believes in the cause that they're doing. That he has a whole thing of dialogue with Luke where he says, you know, there's other entities that have psychic kids doing the same thing we're doing, except for other nations. And if they win, you know, it'll be catastrophic for the world. So we're in this, you know, you've been drafted. You're in, you know, kind of like I said, a more extreme version of what Sigsbee says to him, you know, early on in I think the first episode. So I mean, you know, at least in his mind, Tony thinks, you know, he's like, yeah, I'm just a soldier in a war. So you know, eggs got to get broken and yada yada yada. That kind of.
Right up there with what we were talking about last time with Dr. Hendricks, you know, like the whole surgical, like the oath and everything, where he was like, you know, surgery causes harm to the body, but there's a better outcome that comes from it, you know, and it's that thinking of like, yes, this is bad, this is causing harm, but the good that in their mind, the good that will come out of that harm will be much greater than not doing that harm.
I like this comment. I brought it up. Megan said it would be cool if the workers at the Institute also had TK and TP abilities to keep the kids even more in line. Yeah, That's a good point. I don't know why it was never thought. What's up, Terrence? All right. So Sigsbee also, I can't even read my notes.
Just close one eye.
Right. Sigsbee is growing suspicious of Stackhouse and Dr. Hendricks from the last episode, who they were having a discussion outside her window for some reason. Like, this is for people who are trying to be very sneaky and like keep kids away and not have like attention brought on them. They sure don't know how to be sneaky around each other.
Are you talking about when she brought them up on the security camera thing? Or?
No, when she was home.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yep.
They decided to have just like this full-blown conversation right outside of her house.
Yep, and she could just hear them.
Yeah,
yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
Come on, guys! Like, what? I thought this is supposed to be like a secret MK Ultra government experiment kind of thing going on, and you guys are definitely not able to keep secrets very well. And she's suspicious of them. She's suspicious of both of them because later on we see that she checks the security footage and she notices that when they mute. Which he's an idiot too. Why are you like muting it while you're still on camera? On top of it.
That's the first thing that went through my head, where she was like listening to them, and then she hits mute and keeps on watching.
Okay,
like,
so this is.
I was like, why did you mute it?
This is a terrible mistake that the show did. The creators did to put an insignia for mute, which you would only see if you, the watcher, pressed mute on your screen. What should have represented the audio going out is you start off that video feed with a waveform of audio, and then when he presses the button, it just goes flat.
Oh, so that's why it went mute. He was doing his little trigger thing, and it wasn't her doing the mute.
Correct.
Okay,
but this is poorly executed by the creators of the show.
I looked at that wrong.
Yes, me
now
too.
that you say that, he did have earlier. In one of the earlier episodes, he had a little remote or something that he triggered. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, Trina. Sorry.
The same thing. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought she was the one who pressed mute. I was like,
did
that's
too.
She accidentally presses mute. She's like,
yeah. If only I could hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
No, that
Stupid.
makes more sense. But when I watched it, it played out more like I thought she touched the keyboard when that happened and muted it or something. But
she's a way better villain in the book. I feel like she's very lazily written here.
Yes.
I think this whole show is lazily made.
Oh,
like, maybe they got the rights and they're like, shit, we got to put something out.
Yes, I'm getting that feeling.
So
it feels so low budget. I said it at the beginning. It feels like a low budget show.
Well, it's MGM
limited
Plus original.
sets.
They probably don't have a whole lot of money to.
They can't get They can't at least get actors. You
spend all their money on
find good
Bednar.
actors that are not expensive, ones that are up and coming that actually want a fucking
But
shot.
I recognize
they
quite a few
cast
people. In this, though.
especially that kid playing Avery, is just dear
Yeah.
God, they find him at a grade school play. Or hey, it's probably a nepotism thing.
It's
I
probably
wouldn't be surprised.
He's probably another nepo kid. To be fair,
Kid of the
Mary-Louise
producer,
Parker is
probably.
she's not only a great actress, maybe not in this, but she's a great actress. She's been in a lot of things that I really love. She was also in another much better adaptation of Stephen King's work, Mr. Mercedes, which came out a few years ago. You didn't like that?
First season was good. After that, they kind of like, but the books are weird too. So,
I see. I like the books and the show as far as that goes, but I was mad. I really was. I thought they'd get the chick that played Holly. I thought they'd put her on the Outsider, and that would have been really cool. But no, decided to go another way.
And then when she was watching that and made the phone call, we got another little insight of her little habits.
Yeah, she's a cutter.
With
She's a cutter.
The staple puller thing on her finger, but.
That's pretty common. That's in a lot of Stephen King stories. They have lots of characters, both good and bad, that do self-harm and things like that in a lot of his stories.
That was so stupid. I don't know why they did that with her character. She doesn't do that.
So the book doesn't go that direction with her?
No, in the book she has this long, like this low level but long-term anorexia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because being a cutter is going to be a lot more photogenic than her barfing.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah, not many actresses are going to go the Christian Bale route and go do the machinist, you know?
That's
So-
he's crazy.
That was a massive weight loss on it. Yeah, I don't feel like she is a true villain here. If I was to count any of them, it would be Tony, because he's the one that's physically abusing the kids. In the book, she's not a good person. She's not. I mean, she's not a good person in the show, but she's a true villain in the book, I feel. Versus here, she's just kind of like, eh. She's just,
but
kind of like just
she's
a
heading
Karen.
up. She's heading up the whole thing, though. I mean,
Right, but she's kind of the way that her actions. She's just kind of like a high octane Karen with a cutting thing. Whereas I get what you're saying, Nadia. I mean, yeah, they could have played her better, especially someone of her ability level, given her more to do a much meatier role.
because she's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, she's a good actress. I mean, she's been in a lot of different things, but
Weeds is still one of my favorite shows.
Yeah,
that's the one I remember the most on it. But yeah, I don't know, man. Corey, can I ask you, what do you like about this episode? What do you like about it so far?
So far on this one, I thought it started going a little darker. I mean, maybe it was towards the end of it. I was a little disappointed we got the cliffhanger. I was excited to kind of see what was going down that hallway and through some of those doors at the end for the graduation. Not to go into too much, but I like that. I don't know. I think I'm curious where the kids are going to go with it. And I'm curious now, after talking with you all, I'm really curious about Luke and what if he's playing games to get to a final ends here now,
dun, dun, dun.
Or not. Dun, dun, dun.
So I hope so, but the way they have written him so far in this show and just how they have written overall, I don't know if they're that clever. I don't know if they're going to be able to execute it that clever.
I hope they pull a thing where it's just like, you're like, oh, that's what was going on, kind of a thing. But, so I'll say that I was disappointed with Annie, leaving the show. I just was expecting more out of her character in the whole.
I know, maybe
scheme of
she would have
things.
gotten a house or an apartment,
Stop it. I know you don't like the
Wait, you
tent.
don't want her to have a residence?
No, but she was like, it fit the role, like saying like, oh, well, that's Annie, the town, like, oh, that or this or that. But I just thought with her connection and her sensing that buzz, like the things that were going on, that there'd be some bigger tie of her into the story than what ended up happening. So I will say that was a disappointment for me. So
yeah, why didn't she use her abilities to get like a lottery ticket or something?
Hey,
or like maybe foresee that she was going to be killed.
Ooh.
But
You
each
got it.
have different levels of powers, and maybe she just didn't have that power. But
Maybe she's really bad with numbers.
maybe couldn't pick the numbers right. So
I mean,
but
she's homeless. She's pretty bad with finances, so she's pretty bad with numbers.
So there
maybe
you go.
she was living her best life. Money doesn't equal happiness. Let's just say that. No. But joking aside, I thought I'm kind of curious what the buzz is, what's happening when they go to the back half, and if that's something they're doing that's causing this thing that they all feel and sense. And that last one with them being like, wow, that was louder than usual. Like what if something is building up, something is going to change with what they're doing. But if that makes any sense, I don't know, but it probably doesn't.
Well, we get more of them kind of scheming that they're going to be escaping or trying to figure out a way to escape. We also get a little bit more of Avery's abilities. He is a strong telepathic to the point where it's shown better in the book, but here where he can, in a sense, insert ideas into people's head. Not often, but if he tries really hard to focus on it, he's able to do so.
Yep. That's new.
Go ahead, Trina. Sorry.
Yeah, no, just commenting on what you said about Avery. Yeah, that's totally new for the show. I was surprised that they did that.
Yeah.
Why am I the only person that's on screen right now?
Sorry, I have like I don't know if you guys can see how red my eye is right now.
Do you want to take a pause to try to get that out at the bathroom or something?
Nah, because it's gonna take a while. It's probably because it's half of a contact that's in there somewhere.
It's not a hard one because they make those rubber essentially.
Yeah, it's soft. Yeah.
Okay, it's not gonna like
She'll
scratch.
be all right. She's a soldier.
okay.
She can handle
no,
it.
I'm fine. I've been through this before. This is not a. It just
She's
sucks.
fine.
It happens well on stream live. We do this live, folks. We do this live.
Do it live. Fuck it. I broke my contact. Fuck it.
Yeah. I love the interaction here between Annie and Tim, but I will be honest with you all. I didn't pay very close attention.
I'm going to say right now, if you don't mind,
seeing the plane crash. Go ahead.
This actually pisses me off because they're like alluding to that she may or may not have some ability, extra sense herself, and then it goes nowhere because of what happens in this episode. So that kind of pisses me off. I didn't actually think of it till you just brought up the slide. I was cleaning the house while I was watching this show, getting up for my night knocker job. So yeah, this annoys me quite a bit, and we didn't get to, as sad as it is, whatever. The book gives Tim and Annie so much more time, so much more interactions, from her making signs for him to slow down drag racings at night, and him getting these things that may or may not be real candy called whizzies or whizzers or something like that, and that she really likes, and endears himself to her, and she becomes like she's the only other person that's up at night, really. I mean, with the exception of one or two business people on the weekend, she's his only kind of contact to the world and stuff, and they really lean heavily into that in the book. And then with this, it's alluded to, I guess, but it's not fleshed out well enough for you to be as sad when the big rug pull happens at the end of the episode. So I don't know if that makes sense.
I also did not like the fact that they did the big hum noise where all the kids reacted to it and stuff, and then they just didn't explain it. They just said back half and then just brushed it off.
Yeah.
Isn't that the scene that I brought up at the very start of all this?
I think so, yeah.
Where all of that happens and they're talking about their scheming and how they're going to use the certain part of a playground and then dig underneath the fence, and they're literally saying all this out loud in front of the entire staff.
Oh no, I'm talking about, there's a scene where they're in their little cafeteria where there's like a humming noise that you get like down a hallway shot, I believe, and then all the kids kind of react to it. It's kind of like
and Annie hears
humming
it
from
too.
the back. Yeah, and Annie hears it too. It's the hum, they call it the hum. It's coming from the back half.
In contrast, I did like the whole when were you born? 83, blah blah blah. Oh, okay, yeah, you're what'd she say? You were defective?
Brain damaged.
Your brain
Yep.
So I was like, okay. and
I made it in before then, so I'm okay.
Ben got it. The way that he reacts to it is pretty. I keep calling him Ben. Tim, sorry. Tim reacts to it. I like his reaction to it, and he's so much more better than the book. He's so much more affable and stoic in the show than he is in the book. He talks a little bit too much, and he's a little too self-deprecating, just a little bit too clever in the book. Whereas here, he's this very patient, calm, all-around nice guy. You know, some of the stuff that he says in the book kind of like rubs me wrong. It comes off a little cringy. Whereas here, and maybe that's down to the performance that Ben Barnes gives Tim's character. But I like him a lot. I liked his interactions with most of the people when he's on screen. It really elevates most of the material. I think, was it Nadia? Did you say he's the best and most interesting part of the show, or was that somebody else?
He's the most fleshed out character, but it suffers from the same problem The Last of Us did for season 2, where they killed off Pedro, right? Say what you will about Pedro. The guy's been around in the business since the 90s, okay? He's just finally blooming. That's why he's everywhere. But it's the same problem with season 2 of Last of Us, where you have very inexperienced actors who aren't very good, but you have Pedro that they can kind of work off of. So it's somebody who's experienced there, somebody who can kind of take the load. And I feel the same thing with Ben Barnes here. Ben Barnes is a pretty good actor from his filmography. So any scene he's in, he knows what he's doing, even if he's got a shitty script to work with. Where I think the kids, they're all like inexperienced Nepo babies, actors, and they don't, they read their lines, but they don't know how to act, is like the easiest way to put it. Like they're reading the lines, but they're not really acting.
Nadia, I think you're blinded by Prince Caspian's looks, okay?
I am not blinded by Prince Caspian here, all right?
You're getting pretty defensive about that, aren't you?
Yeah.
I call him what is it? Dark Dickling or something, because he plays Shadow and Bone. He's like the main villain that everybody oohs and ahs about and stuff. Yeah.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Including Nadia. But what I was going to say is I'm kind of curious if he goes a little more aggressive after this, if he had a little bit of a connection with Annie, with his mom and what he dealt with her and losing her. And then, like this was kind of
That's a great question, Corey. How did you know that? Because they flushed out this character and his little bit of a background. You can kind of fit it in. He has a great relationship with Annie, two actors that can bounce off each other and actually, maybe give some oomph to their script and stuff. But that's a great question.
So that's why I was sad to see Annie go so quick. Because, but anyway, I'm really curious to see if he's not so laid back after this. He gets a little more aggressive with things, especially with her, and that whole scene with the vodka bottle and the pills, and she had made the comment like, not since whatever year it was a long time ago, that she hadn't touched anything. At that, he's just like, if his good cop instincts pull in, he's like, this is staged, something happened here, and how soon he can put it together with who did I talk to about her, and start doing it. Anyway,
I will say Annie's pretty base though, talking about like everything affecting hormone growth, and particularly like she's out the Alex Jones of the series. She might be skewing off, but there's like,
doesn't she listen?
Chemtrails.
Doesn't she listen to like an Alex Jones type thing on the radio?
I think so. Yeah.
Because I think even when he went to her tent, he was like, he didn't hear the radio, and he's like, "Isn't it the so and so hour now?" And nobody answered. But
yeah, it would have been funny if while he was finding her dead body, there was like an iPod or a radio that was just blasting Alex Jones on a rant.
They're turning the front.
Turning the front gay. And it's just
they've got an island somewhere where they're harvesting children.
Kyle, I agree with you on Avery. The problem is I like Avery in the book because I feel Avery there's too much maturity with him here in the show, and by that I mean in the book he is a 10-year-old child. So he gets scared. He does things that 10-year-olds do, like reacts to, where wets the bed, all that kind of stuff. Where I feel here they just don't know what to do to show that he's still a child, but still have these abilities. Because sometimes I feel like he's talking like an adult, like, so and so says this and stuff. Where in the book he has to be coerced a little bit better by the older kids, kind of tendered by them, versus here he's just blank.
Maybe pretty cold and shut off.
Last episode he was whining on the floor like a baby. Like what just
and that's
happened?
what I thought we were going to get, like the true Avery of the book, where even though he is the strongest one out of all of them, he's still a child. So there are moments in the books that him being a 10-year-old comes out. He's scared, he wets the bed, he doesn't want to do certain things, he throws tantrums because he's a 10-year-old at the end of the day, versus this where I feel like they wrote him as if he was like a 16, 17-year-old versus a 10-year-old.
I mean,
I would have made that even younger actually than 10, because what you're describing is something that maybe a 6-year-old would do.
Right. I mean,
don't
to be
shame
fair,
anybody who at 10-year-old still wet the bed. Not me, my sister.
Charlie,
not me.
Getting defensive again, Nadia.
Charlie McGee was I think a 8 or 9-year-old in Firestarter. So I mean, whatever that's.
But the thing is, in the book, he like King is able to be like, they're still children. So they still have children like habits, and they're not fully, their minds aren't fully grown and stuff. So they're gonna react first as like a 10-year-old, not a strong telepathic.
And that's what I was saying too with Avery. He's so young, but if he can pretty much read everybody's mind, he knows the fears and the doubts that the other kids have, and I would figure he would be a lot more agitated, a lot more scared than what he's acting like in this episode. But I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. He should be. He should be terrified at this point.
Because if he sees
you know,
these older kids that are supposed to be on his side fearing, and especially with the graduation thing that happened, he would know how much fear that Shaw is having, and and everybody else too, and why the tears are coming and everything. But he would
Not
see
for
that.
nothing, but they could have probably upped their budget instead of doing the generic cold drinks. Maybe they just make a deal with Coke or Pepsi and just have a Pepsi or Coke machine and get a little sponsorship going on. Cold drinks. That's like the 555 phone number thing, man. I'm still like, when that shows up somewhere, I'm still like, dude, what?
Brand name soft drink wanted to be associated with this show.
I'm figuring
they
somebody
knew its
would,
quality was.
No, somebody wouldn't mind their logo being splashed on some screen somewhere. But
remind me to tell you something really hilarious about a soft drink thing versus the marketing when we go to the green room after this.
This was kind of interesting though too, with him at this scene right here, where he kind of does the little Jedi mind trick with Luke.
with Luke, yeah.
And he's like, "No, I don't like licorice," and he kind of put the thought in. And so he made him use his token to buy something that Avery wanted.
But he comes off so cold, like Trina's saying. He's coming
it's
off
very
way
cold.
more, mature than he is. That's why I like the character so much more in the book, is because there's faults to it. There's faults to the character because of the age and such. But yeah, here is I feel like he's just written as if he's the same age as all these kids.
Yeah, there's a cool contrast because you have this little kid who still, is scared like a little kid. He wets the bed just like little kids do, and yet he's a strong telepathic. It's a cool contrast in the book that isn't being shown on the show.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, one of the last part of this is we get that Tim meets Kate, who is our assassin reporter, who kind of is in line with the books. Not this character, but there are people in the town that Luke eventually maybe gets to it later in the book that are in pockets to the Institute. So I could see why they're kind of fitting characters. There's probably more characters throughout this town that are still in pocket with the Institute, placing it so close. But he kind of opens up about Crazy Annie.
Mm-hmm.
He gets her killed, by the way.
Well, that's why I said I was surprised.
Shut his damn mouth. He just blabbers on. It's like he has no idea what it's like to have any kind of discretion or be in law enforcement. Oh.
No, that's what I was saying earlier, where with law enforcement, like you said, Kyle, but then also with his everything, the backstory with his mother, I'm just surprised he just let it out.
Listen, guys, your skills atrophy when you're going to do it. You could not put me back in Iraq right now and expect me to perform at that level that I used to perform at since I've been doing a night knocker job. He's been walking around with a flashlight and a radio and chalk for 2-3 months now or whatever. So,
I mean, but there's also tactical skills and just not saying too much.
Yeah, I think instinct is still there.
There you go. Good distinction.
So I don't know. That's where I was just like, was surprised.
Maybe I'm more forgiving of him. I mean,
no,
she's pretty hot. I'd probably talk her up in bar too.
Hey, I don't blame him on that one bit whatsoever, but there was just some things that he started divulging that I'm just like, I was kind of surprised he was saying as much.
I'll grant you, he divulges
to a stranger.
To a stranger.
Too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, again, he's operating under the assumption that everybody in this town has been in this town forever, and I mean, that's not a completely wrong assumption. I mean,
this is as if James O'Keefe sent this lady to go interview a cop, and they opened up on the first date. Do you guys know about this?
Yeah.
The undercover.
No.
James O'Keefe does undercover reporting. He used to was it Veritas he owned. So he sends very attractive men or women on dates with people who are like in the government or CEOs and all that stuff.
If she's trying to be attractive, she's only going halfway. I don't know why the fuck she decided to have Jared Leto's hairdo from Panic Room.
Wait, did you just say she's mid?
Racist. Yeah. That was racist. Nadia is.
No, the haircut is not helping her.
I agree. The hair is bad.
But
I don't know why that was. I don't know why that was
sends these
racist.
people-
Jared Leto's wife.
I'm just messing.
He
with
sends
you.
these people out and like they open up on first dates to these people they've never met about like insider stuff of like the government, their companies and stuff to attractive person. So I feel like, okay.
Is
I
that
guess
the
he
one
finds
where
her
they got the information that the news was going anti-Trump and they got someone to admit it?
He's done a lot of
that? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
Do you know what bugged me the most about this scene though? Is his whole backstory that he was off duty in uniform and had some drinks and he shot a kid and he has this big trauma. Well, he's sort of off duty in his uniform at a bar.
Whatever the hell that meant. Can you use someone? That's ridiculous. Kind of off duty.
But he says that. He says that.
I
He's
know.
like,
But
Yeah.
what the hell does that even
I thought you were making fun of me. I'm like, no.
No, man. No, that's a quote. I'm
kind of off
critiquing
duty. Yeah.
The dialogue in this. So what?
Yeah.
What?
But
He's
so
off
he won't
duty for
drink.
alcohol, but he's
Is he on a break?
for other things.
He's on a break.
You know
Then
what I
just
mean?
say that. It's just
But-
weird for him to say sort of.
Maybe he's-
Yeah.
Just say you're on a
He's
break.
maybe he's trying to get some guys.
Well, okay, but
Oh, then it'd
if
have to be a
his
quickie.
if his okay, well, you tripped me up there. If his big trauma was off duty in uniform, drinking, and having this shooting, this bugged me that he had that police badge on the side of his arm. Whether he's drinking alcohol or not, we don't know what he ordered there. But he's sitting in a bar.
He is in a bar. Yeah, good point.
He's in a bar, but I mean,
late at night or whatever, and
it's probably the only one that's open. I mean, I've done
right,
that.
but
He would have his own beverages that he brought. You know.
he
could,
can
but
find
I
his
mean,
cold drinks machine somewhere
There you
else.
go. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
He has his own tokens.
Listen, people like to be around other people, and
I agree, but with that whole trauma that he had, he lost his wife, he lost his career. It was a decorated, awarded police officer. He lost all of that because of that incident. I'm just saying, I don't blame him. I like to sit down at a bar and talk to people, get to know people or whatever, have some conversation, but that he just still has that shirt on while he's sitting in there. If that all happened somewhat recently, I don't know.
At the very least, it's a controversial decision for him to go in there.
You don't have to agree with it.
Lack of
right.
self-awareness.
It's off character for what we've already established with Tim.
Yeah, he's been very careful.
Yeah.
But now he sees.
I think he's drinking a Coke for the record. But...
No, and that's what I said too. You don't know what he's.
I think
you don't know what he's
attractive
drinking.
look.
I'm not saying he's drinking alcohol, but it's
That
late at
bartender
night in a
could know
bar.
somebody that knows Wendy, and then Wendy's going to be on his ass again. Why would he want that? Give me some slack.
I'm just saying it kind of threw me off to be like, wow, maybe that would be the last place he'd want to, even if he's drinking a Pepsi or a Coke, that would be the last thing he'd want to be with a police badge on his arm, sitting in a bar at 3 a.m. or 2 or whatever. I don't know what time.
I'll tell you
but,
what it is, Corey. I'll
what?
tell you why.
Tell me, Nadia. Tell me.
The reason why he's at a bar is because of the other character. Because the writers don't know how to bring
How to
these two
introduce the
characters
two of them?
together. So the easiest way to do so is she's drinking at a bar and he just shows up and then just blabs out about Annie, and just blabs out about everything, and then just then causes somebody's death.
Yeah.
It's really honestly,
They also don't have a lot of sets to use on this show.
a bar, I guess, is one of them. Yeah.
This
So-
is a new
but yes,
setting.
no.
This is a new setting, I guess.
No,
I
they
agree
used
with
that
you,
in the
Corey.
previous episode
They-
when
Did
she
they?
was hitting on the other
It's
chick.
completely,
Oh,
it's completely out of
you're right.
character.
You're right. You're right.
This is the pizzeria.
Yep. Nope.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this is the pizzeria set. Like, it's not the actual pizzeria, but I'm sure they utilize this.
Oh, I see what you're
They
saying.
set
redressed
as
it?
the
I
Yeah, I
think
see
you're
what you're
right.
saying.
Yeah, I would
I
trust
see what you're
Nadia's judgment on that. I think
No,
that-
I see what you're saying. I wasn't following at first, but I see
no,
what
but
you're
it
saying.
also is the same setting, story wise, as where the other institute operative was at that
Yeah.
was hooking
I
up with her.
I forgot about that until Kyle said that. Yeah, but you're absolutely right.
Hey, let's get to this scene where finally I got to see some security and patrol on this very,
There was some on the other episode at night.
Yeah, they were walking by.
I didn't notice that.
It was
so
at night.
I'm saying what I
So it
didn't
didn't
notice.
exist.
I'm just talking from my POV here. All right, so I see some patrol, and when I say patrol, I see one guy with a doggy.
A very highly trained dog.
Great job, guys. Yeah, a very clandestine, highly important operation going on. You have a guy with a dog. That's
But
just
they
brilliant.
also established there's no cameras or anything out here either. They say like, oh, they don't care what we do out here. They just have the patrolmen.
But that's like what I was thinking too. I was like, why? Why would you not care what they're doing? Wouldn't you, if you were doing something like this, wouldn't you be scrutinizing every single inch of this place that they could be in?
Well, again, I don't want to keep doing this, but in the book, there's a reason why security keeps getting degraded over time, and
that's a
maybe they'll use that in the story.
Tariffs.
So
It's the tariffs.
Oh, stop it!
Stop. You know what? If this was written today, that's what King likely would have.
We would have put more security cameras up, but they were just too expensive now.
Yep. Out of date too, as well. I get this is a way to establish Avery's abilities again, showing that he is a stronger telepathic, being able to see through the dog and stuff. I really just didn't care for this scene at all.
Why didn't they just get the dog to just dig the hole and then they get underneath there and escape? Like, what?
So honestly, Kyle, I was thinking the same thing. I think what you're saying is like, he was saying like, oh, dogs are easy. They're not guarded. I can just follow along with them. That, he got Luke to buy the licorice when he didn't want it. Like, so if a dog's completely unguarded, could you just have him sneak off in the middle of the night and dig a big old hole underneath the fence for them or something?
Yeah, a dog would be more easily suggestible.
And less questionable. Like it wouldn't be the kids out there trying to dig a hole out there. But
this also is where we find that whatever the fuck her name is, Kalisha, is Shakira,
Shaka Khan. Yeah.
She's seen the dots, so she's about to graduate. I like how she comes out with a bottle and a cigarette while she's shaking.
But
it's obvious
she graduated.
Everyone doing their best to pretend that they care about her. Yeah.
She graduated from the candy cigarette things that she had in the previous episode. Now is smoking the real thing. So.
Yep.
I just didn't buy any of these fucking performances. It just seems so. It was like they were rehearsing before they actually shot.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah,
I didn't buy
agree.
it.
Right, Corey?
Yeah. I was being quiet. I know I'm not arguing with it. Like I said, not saying it's the greatest show ever, but I don't think I'm as down on it as everybody. I didn't say it was.
I love how Corey is digging the show. I don't know. I'm getting a kick out of that.
Thank you, Trina.
You're
the one that appreciates it. The one.
I appreciate it, Corey. Jeez.
I'm toxic. I'm just joking.
I appreciate it. I just want it to be better because I know it could be better. And it's not even better based off the book. Just take the book out of the equation. But the storytelling, the pacing, the acting, the editing, the set designs, they all could be just tad bit better. It doesn't have to be like over the top of it could just there's improvements there, and it feels like it's just a lazy show to put together.
But I know you said throw the book out, but if I would have read that or listened to it before this, I could have a completely different outlook on it.
I think you would, because I've noticed my because I actually do a show on my channel where I specifically do this, and believe it or not, more often than not, I side with the adaptation. I kind of cherry pick them in order to do that, because there's a rival show called Why the Book Wins, which I think is the whole title of the show, of her show, kind of gives away, hashtag Why the Book Wins. A little shout out to you. But, she's always saying why the book is better, where I don't find that to always be true. In fact, I kind of think it's more like 50-50, but I can tell you that, if you are not aware of the source material, I think you can appreciate it. I know that's been true for like The Walking Dead, The Boys, season 1 of The Last of Us. I have not read those things or played the games for those, whatever applies. And I feel like I've enjoyed them better because I did not have firsthand knowledge. And I think a lot of my complaints with this has been the fact, well, besides Avery Kidd's horrible acting, I think a lot of my complaints are because I'm waiting for something to happen. And then when it does, I'm like, ugh, I envisioned that differently or something along those lines. So I think if I had not read the book, I would be enjoying this slightly better. But there's no way I would know. So, it's really hard to say.
Disagree just based off my own opinion of it, because I haven't read the book in years, and I'm basing my opinions on the book just based off the broader context of the elements in the book. Yeah, no, the book itself. Like I only remember.
Okay, I think you said that backwards. Yeah.
Okay, I disagree that if you read the book, you would dislike this show.
Okay,
that's what I'm disagreeing with.
Okay,
because I think having read the book and not remembering much of the details of it, but just of the overall context of it, I know where the book goes. Like I know how the book ends and stuff, but I'm able to see in the show the elements that they've adapted. But I'm also able to judge the fact on the show itself, and I think the show itself is poorly written, is poorly acted, poorly set design. And I base this also Last of Us. When we were covering Last of Us, I've never played Last of Us. I really enjoyed season 1. Season 2 is shit. So like I agree. I think you could be critical of this whether you read the book or not on it.
No. I'm not debating that. I'm just saying this is a subjective thing for me personally. I think my knowledge of the source material is, and not only that, it's the fact that it hasn't been years for me. I'm literally rereading it as we go on. I have a little bit of an edge on you guys because I can kind of speed read a little bit, not to the point where
show off.
Yeah. So I'm able to like knock out like 6 chapters before an episode, and then like I can also double back and and then if I take good enough notes, it helps. But again, I think had this been released before I had a YouTube channel and I'd not watched this and all that yada yada yada, I think it definitely would have lent itself to a better experience, but it's still got a lot of problems regardless. So I agree with you on that end. And again, that's just me personally, my subjective take to it. Doesn't mean that that's going to be true for everybody. You may never read any Stephen King books and you watch this show and go, man, this is dog shit, man. So I mean, yeah.
But I can appreciate, Corey, like your view of it is different. Believe me, in my own YouTube community, my viewpoints are always usually the odd man out in the different on it.
On
it.
Okay. So you can appreciate my spot right now.
Yeah. There's
go ahead,
I can. So don't. I don't want you to walk away from this feeling.
No.
Oh, you should hate this show, or you should agree with us. I love the fact that you and Toxic, for the most part, have been defending this show this entire time while we've been talking about it.
I'll say this again. I said this the last stream. If you decided tonight you didn't want to do any more streams for this series, you're like, I'm done with it. I don't want to do it.
No, we're locked in.
No, I understand, but just to make a point, like if you were to say that, I would still finish the series. I want to see where it goes. And I'll say this right now, with everything that I've heard from you all that have read it, I will be listening to the audiobook after this. I'll definitely want to check that out. So
I'm gonna be. I look forward to your take on the show after you've read the book.
Yeah. It might change some things in my mind. I mean,
maybe you'd be willing to come on to my show one time and we can do consider the source show.
There you go. Maybe we could do that. We could have a little regroup party after everybody's taken both in, the book and the series, and see what if our thoughts have changed or anything like that. But it could. I don't know. But you definitely got me interested to check the book out. I'll say that.
I kind of wish I didn't commit us with Alien Earth coming out, because I feel Alien Earth at least would be a little bit more entertaining. But
when's that start?
August. It actually overlaps with
I'm going to tell you right now, boss, I'm not watching that. I am not going to watch that at all. I don't know if I previously commit. I don't think I did, but I'm not.
What is that streaming on?
Hulu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Toxic is
seen
out.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
fuck them
get
kids,
more
right,
out
Toxic?
of
I get
watching
you.
Alien Earth than this thing.
Hey,
Well-
I'm pretty sure, Kyle, you signed up for Welcome to Dairy, so you're locked in for that one.
Wait,
my
what? When did that
Yeah.
happen?
friend. I asked you. You're like,
Snail.
yes, I'm in.
I did?
That sounded like a
Check the
consent
That's
to me.
October.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I'll have to check this.
There's also what is it?
You're talking to a lot of people. You might be confused.
Clive Barker's Book of Blood, Books of Blood, which is being adapted into something for Hulu, which will be released in October too. So there's quite a few TV shows to keep us busy. Stranger Things is keeping us busy till next year. So
I've never watched any of the Stranger Things.
should I derail this for another?
Are you going to take me off the stream right now, or do you want
No,
to wait
it's
and just
okay.
not have me back on
I'm
next
actually-
time?
We're starting season 4 tomorrow. I'm really excited about season 4.
I have nothing
tomorrow.
against it. I lean towards movies more than series. So
Fair enough. That's
Yeah,
fair.
and
That's fair.
it's-
But I will tell you, season 5, each episode is probably 2 hours long. I think Blue found out, and then the last episode is 3 hours long.
and how many episodes?
Wow.
Volume 1 has, I think, 3. Volume 2 has 3. One of them has 4. I can't remember.
Wow, that's
And then Volume 1, which is the last episode, only has the 1 3-hour episode.
see when I fall behind like that, and that feels daunting to try to go back and hit.
Oh, season
that
4's
stuff.
finale is over almost 2 hours long. I think they were I think that was their test play. Like,
See how
let's
long
see-
people can hang in there.
hang in there for it. And to be honest, it's probably I would argue probably so far the best season finale of the series. But we'll get to that
that'd be
point.
the time to pull it off if you're doing a
But-
really long one. But
Yeah.
anyway, back
yeah.
on track. Back on track.
Yeah. So one of the last big things
What
is
show
that
are we talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. We're between
Shaka-
4 right now.
she graduates. They have their little ceremonial cake and stuff. I didn't understand why Luke pulled everybody off the table. Was it to allow Nick and her to have like a moment together?
I wondered about that because it's kind of weird where he takes them just to the table next to it. And
Yeah.
I thought something bigger was going to happen. And then he brings them back over. But
The biggest
So-
thing is him talking to Maureen, which I'm like, why didn't you take the knife, dude? Like
Yeah.
what's going?
well, that's
He
what
just, like-
I thought something big was going to happen because he grabbed that plate. There was the cake knife and there was
Mhm.
something else like a fork or I can't remember. There was a couple utensils on there. And I was like, oh, is stuff going to go down right now? And it didn't. But
You can't expect too much out of this show, man.
I know, but
So-
when you think of a situation like that, I mean, I always think of like a prison movie or something. I'm like, oh, they left a fork sitting over there or
Your
whatever. Like
ideas are way
they're
more
gonna grab
interesting
it.
than what
and-
they actually did, man. So
Corey's
wanted
seeing
to go-
shanks everywhere.
I know, right? Right, just shanks everywhere. Like you could hurt somebody with that. You could hurt somebody with that. Maybe that's my bad. But you know what I'm saying? Like I just thought they pan in on that cake tray too. It wasn't like him carrying it. Like they really focused on it. Or at least I felt like they kind of went in on it, and I thought he was gonna either try to hide something, like to take it, or something was gonna happen at that point, and it didn't.
Were any of you guys sad when Kalisha graduated? I felt nothing for the character. I don't feel anything for any of these characters
I felt
except
bad
Ben
for-
Barnes.
I
That's
felt
a
bad
different
for her.
level.
I'm with you, Nadia.
I felt bad
I
for
don't
her.
feel anything. I don't
Nothing.
care.
Corey,
I
need to get
I was
you and
looking
Blue
at the
Collar
timeline
on
and
the
just
same stream.
appreciating. Hey, this
Blue
is almost
Collar?
over. It's 45 minutes. It's not 59 minutes like the last one.
You and Blue Collar Loser find like the Blue Collar Loser. He's Chris. He's been on with Stranger Things. Toxic knows him, but he will find always the positivity in anything.
I
Like
love
he will never
positive.
really be mean about any type of media. He'll be like, yeah, the writing shit, but this is kind of cool and stuff like that. And I feel like
that's
you
not
and
mean.
him would bounce off each other very well.
He's not mean about anything. He'll go on and say that this is a piece of shit, but like, what? Mix it
I mean,
up
like,
a little
he'll
bit,
always-
Nadia.
Toxic, back me up on this. He'll always like find something positive to say about something in the movie or TV show. All right, never mind.
Silence.
crickets.
He probably stepped away.
So no, I felt bad for her. And I thought there was going to be something more there too, where she was kind of coming into like I know it was very quick, very rushed, but a motherly role with Avery. So she was showing some of those.
Psych, she's going back.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, I was sad she was gone. I liked her. I'll just say that.
Awesome. Here's my favorite scene of this episode, where all these characters congregate at this table, where the entire staff is hearing them talk about, hey, we're gonna get this idea. We're gonna use the dog. And it's gonna, we're gonna climb under it. We're gonna dig and then just go underneath the fence and then they cut to Sigsbee, who for some reason has her back turned and she's looking down as if she's looking at her phone or some shit.
They're using the same clip. They're using the same because they go to her multiple times to show them, and it's nobody.
Why is
moves.
she looking down?
She's got a lot of TikTok reels to get through.
Is directed facing them, but he's just kind of scanning.
I think the direction and the editing is really bad on this show, and they are kind of like hoping that you've read the book and kind of know what's happening and are not bothering to extrapolate on that. There seemed to be some disconnect between the person who adapted the screenplay for the show and the actual source material, and they're just like, oh well, see, this is the ruse and blah 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 blah, and it's just like, okay, well, if you haven't read the book, then you're not going to know that, and it's not being conveyed. That idea is not being conveyed properly in the show. So it's just like, you don't have because when you read a book, you have unless it's in the first person narrative, where it's like, I walked into the room, I pulled a gun, I saw her sitting there with nothing on but the radio. Unless it's a first person narrative which lends itself to detective stories, it's in that God narrative of third person. So you kind of know everything that is going on. Whereas this show seems to, it's almost like one person adapted it and then another person directed it and did the editing on it. God bless you.
Yep.
Who did that?
If that was a sneeze. Was that a sneeze, or I thought that was a sneeze?
Not
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't make. I heard something, but I
scratch of some kind.
I was.
Oh, I thought you sneezed, Nadia. My bad. So.
Oh, sorry. My eye. I was fucking with
Are you
it.
okay?
Is that the sound
Yeah,
of you
I'm fine.
scratching your eye?
Yeah. I'm trying to get it out.
Oh, you hit the microphone. Okay, I get it. Okay.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay.
Probably.
Okay. Sorry.
Anyway, but yeah, I think that's what's going on. And again, I said from day one, I said the editing was really poor in this, and it's not improved at all. Like whatever else is going on, they've not improved.
I wouldn't think it would improve. That same editor probably edited all fucking 8 episodes.
Oh, well, don't yell at me. It wasn't me that did it.
I know.
Don't you raise your voice at me, Nadia.
Yeah.
You racist.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get caught in traffic with Nadia. I'd get the
facts.
Then.
Bro, I would be canceled so fast against my own people too, not just like against my own Arab white people.
When you were talking about not to change the subject, but to change the subject, when you're talking about editing, I know I'm going back, but when Luke was getting tested that time, they were strapping him down and they're like, oh, it's for your own good. There was one part of that where he was starting to feel sick or like see stuff, and you see his arms come up and then he's strapped down again. So I with the editing thing, when you were talking about that, I just happened to see, I was like, wait a minute, why did I just see his hands right there? Because they made a big deal. They made a big deal about like, no, this is for your own safety. We're strapping you down.
Yeah.
And,
no, good catch. This editor is definitely not going to win any awards for this miniseries or whatever.
Dude, episode 4 has to like be night and day to compare to the 3 episodes. Again, Corey, I understand you're enjoying it, so please don't take that offense. But for me personally, for my taste,
I've taken offense.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, I'm joking.
Gotta have tough skin to be on this channel.
No, I'm just joking. Go ahead.
But I think it has to they have to, I don't know, light the fire for next episode.
Please,
something's gotta happen.
do something better. Make it better.
Make it better, or like just throw them in, because again, Sunday is going to be mid-season, because then we'll have 4 episodes left.
Right.
That's hard to believe already, but I will agree with you. So even though I think I'm more on the positive than negative, but not like full-fledged 100% for me, but I'm more positive on it. I will agree. Just like I was saying when he was picking up that cake plate with the cake cutter or utensils, And I was just like, okay, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. And it didn't. I do agree with you that I think something needs to pick up a little bit. There needs to be an acceleration of
Agreed.
I feel there's no
here.
risk.
Right.
We've got kidnapped children in an institute with abilities, and they're
start
being
taking
injected
chances.
Yeah.
There's
no
taking
risk
chances and have some risks and maybe some consequences because of those risks. But I agree with you. I think it does need to up the ante a little bit, or a lot going forward here.
I agree. Any final comments on Shaw being taken to the back end, the long hallway of just like constantly hallways and more hallways, and wait, guess what? More hallways.
You forgot big doors.
And big doors.
That we don't even
That's
know
actually
what the hell
book
happens.
accurate.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how okay, okay.
More hallways.
So
and then we have we end with Andy's death. Go ahead.
Yes. No, I was getting a little excited going down that hallway. I thought we were going to see a little bit more, but I figured I was like, oh, they're not going to do that. They're going to leave us hanging. But anyway, I'm curious to find out if we get to see more of the back half in the series.
So if this is not a spoiler, but Shaw does eventually get put to the back half. Avery, and correct me if I'm wrong, Trina Toxic. Avery is so strong; he's able to communicate with her between the front and the back.
I mean, in the source material, yes.
Yeah,
because he was trying right there. He was like following her,
Yeah.
but then he lost connection or whatever. But
Yeah, that's definitely that was deliberate. So that's got to be they've got something planned for the story for that.
Yeah, maybe he can relay some messages about the cake.
Kyle's like, I give up on this show. Sorry, I won't be back next week.
I don't see even the significance of having establishment of a mental psychic connection between them. What's the relevance of that? What's that going to do?
It's not that they have Go ahead, Trina. You can explain.
I was just to answer Kyle's question. So that does come into play later on, but we can't get into it right now.
Yeah, I would give away a major plot point to
Albert. Big time.
But there's a presumption, right? Because you guys have read the source material that you think they're going to do that as well.
Yeah.
That they're
I
going to
know
follow
they
through
are.
with
I mean, they kind of have, unless they completely change the ending, they kind of have to.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, well, we shall see.
Yeah, that's why I assume they did that deliberately for the show. I don't know.
What did we
They
think
got
of Andy's
something
death?
planned.
Annie? Of Annie's death?
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I mean, I don't know. You don't really, I mean, I'm sad because I know her in a different way from the book. So, I mean, there's that. But I mean, if I had just watched this show, I'd be like, well, it's kind of sad, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, and I see where they're going. I could see this being, it really just depends on how they play this. If they, I mean, just, setting the source material aside for a second, if they, from a narrative standpoint, if they play it that like she was kind of his only Tim's only kind of human connection in this town where he's a stranger and stuff like that, because everyone else kind of treats him at arm's length and kind of is a dick to him, and or not even a dick, but just kind of standoffish with him or whatever. And he's walking around at night and then sleeping all day, so he doesn't really have a lot of communication. She was like his only kind of friend or whatever. Then she dies like this, and he knows it's something's rotten in Denmark, and then they kind of poo-poo it because they're like, well, it's a transient. She offed herself in in her tent. That happens all the time. Who cares? It is what it is. If they do it like that, and then he gets really pissed off and has a rager, then I could see that being some good drama. I don't know. Up to this point, he's not really played the character that way. So, and I don't know that coincides with what I know about the story. So I don't know that either. So it just really depends on what they do next. It's like Nadia says, episode 4 better bring it.
Hey, Nadia, can you scrub over his reaction to seeing her dead, please?
I think
you have to go back just 10 seconds. Do the 10-second thing.
No, I think
that's for. Okay, yeah, right there, right around. Or maybe they're cutting back and forth. My bad. Sorry.
They're cutting back and forth between it.
Okay, so that.
There we go.
Can we see that clip for a moment? couple seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks a little upset, but not like distraught.
Yeah.
So he's very. He doesn't even go to check if she has a pulse. He's just.
I mean, she's
I
kind
know
of
she's
obviously
dead. I
dead,
think she's
Kyle.
I actually,
Yeah, hey,
I think,
standard formalities.
Didn't he-
Yeah, you do
I almost
that.
think he did
Yes.
reach over. I think he did reach over.
Prove me wrong, please.
I could be wrong. I'm wrong
The camera zooms.
Yeah,
right
right
there,
here.
right there, right
Yeah,
there.
he did.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's got her.
Yeah.
her,
Kyle was looking at his phone during this moment.
Yeah,
Probably. You're probably right.
As long as
And
I thought he did
I
reach
sit
over.
corrected. And yes. Thank you for proving me wrong. So I take that back. The show actually
Megan-
did something right.
Megan has a good question. When the
Kyle.
TK kids have their full powers, couldn't they read the workers' minds, maybe even know their intentions?
Well, and that's where
You know-
Avery's kind of coming into play, right? Where he's strong enough to maybe get to that.
Well, a
point?
couple things. TK is for telekinetic. The one.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
with
TP,
that mind.
the TP,
TP is
toilet paper.
telepath,
That's what I
and
think about every
not-
time I say that.
right? Toilet paper that you need to wipe your ass with the show, but the TP kids don't tend to be that strong, and they tend to be more rare. And it doesn't really matter if they know the workers' intentions. They know what the workers' intentions are. They're not good. Whether they know I don't think, and a lot of the workers don't know the full scope of what it is that they do. There is a short story that's related to this, whether by accident or design, that came out in the 90s, where these kids are sent off to. I mean, it's not giving anything away to say, because this episode shows you that the TK kids are doing assassination wet work jobs from afar. And so they have a short story that he's done. I'll try to find it and reference it next episode. But in the 90s, he did a compilation of short stories where they had one of these kids as a young, like 18-year-old, living in his own apartment, just kind of doing this kind of assassination stuff. But he doesn't really know it's assassination stuff, but he knows it's not right. And they give him like a stipend of money, and he lives in his own apartment just doing this stuff.
I think you just gave one of the biggest spoilers.
What do you mean? They show it in this episode, Nadia.
Yeah, no, I kind of got that from it when
Allude to it. They don't show it.
no,
They
but
show it in this episode.
but
They-
Annie says some things,
Fair,
and then there's
okay.
there's the news clip in the bar.
yeah,
There's a
they
plane.
Yeah.
The plane crashed.
So
Yeah.
I was figuring. I will say, not knowing the book, when I saw those two things, I'm like, okay, this is what they're the path there.
Yeah, I mean, that's-
Manipulation of politics or countries or whatever.
Okay.
But
All right, fair.
so
I'll
I
let that go.
kind of figured that was the path they were going with it.
I mean,
so.
anybody with a knowledge of the that government program that they were the men who stare at
MK
goats,
Ultra.
MK Ultra, and all that kind of stuff. They already know that. So I mean, it's and then they have. I mean, they're not going to randomly show you a news report of a senator, going down in a plane crash and have it not have.
Well,
something to
and
do
that
with
was the big thing that really set him off, and he was saying a lot more stuff to that reporter or the whatever lady
Yeah,
at
so
the
I
bar.
mean,
But
there is that. So I forgot where I was going with that, but anyway, there is a short story that's probably, if it's not the inspiration for this, it's at least loosely related, and all Stephen King stuff is related anyways, where they do that, but they don't have operational knowledge of it. Basically the institute does, or the main branch does, or whatever you want to call it. Like it's like anything else. It's little moving pieces, don't know what the whole is. So if a kid had good telepathic powers, they wouldn't get much from Tony, or they wouldn't even get that much from Sigsbee, or I don't think Sigsbee knows the whole plan. Go ahead.
Did nobody catch the small bit of dialogue in this episode where she's telling Maureen not to stay away from the kid, make sure your guard is up? It's kind of alluded that these individuals know that these kids could potentially read their minds, so they utilizes techniques to kind of put walls up and stuff.
and just
Yeah.
like
I got
when they were in that cafeteria, when they asked Avery, and he was like, "No, I can't read Sigsbee."
Yeah.
Like she's
Guarded.
It's kind of like when people learn techniques to fake out a lie detector test. Like they are doing something actively to try to
Sometimes.
mask some things.
Sometimes, but there's a very big plot point in multiple King books, including Firestarter, that there are some individuals that are just, they're not even actively doing anything. They're just impenetrable. Like,
Well, that's like their power. That's their
no,
power.
there's no
Well,
power
I mean-
involved. There's like Rainbird, the assassin from Firestarter, when Charlie, she's not only can start fires, but she's a really good telepath. She can read minds pretty easily. When she goes to look into his mind, there's nothing there. It's just blank. And she'd only experienced that like one time before from like a guy that ran the local deli that was a POW from
To
Go
Corey's
ahead.
point, wouldn't
And-
that be their shine in a sense? Their ability is that instead of them being telepathic, they just their special ability is that they're just able to empty
you
their
could
mind.
read it that
and
way,
not
certainly.
be-
Yeah, you could read it that way, certainly. I only really highlight this because I'm writing something right now that's of a bit of a horror supernatural, and I'm actually incorporating this in a character. And I think it's like there's a thing that King writes where there are certain characters that have, you know, when they run into supernatural characters that whether they be, you know, good characters or bad characters, they're impenetrable because of some horrible trauma that they've and then their minds are almost been walled off, not on purpose, but like on accident. Like there's too many layers to go through because they themselves don't want to think about. So like a guy like Rainbird that's been executing people since Vietnam, and he was badly tortured, and then, you know, the kindly old meat market guy that worked in Charlie's neighborhood, who was a Holocaust survivor, you know, like they are impenetrable because of that. In that horrible Tommyknockers movie, it's on accident that the main character, the alcoholic guy, he suffered a brain injury, and he has like a partial steel plate in his head, but also he has like a bad, you know, memory lapses and things like that. So the psychic aliens can't penetrate him because he's
Psychic aliens, by the way.
Yeah.
Psychic aliens. Tommyknockers, my
And-
first Stephen King book
And Nadia,
as a middle schooler.
Nadia, if you want to move off this scene, it's perfectly fine if you want to.
What do you mean?
Is that image?
First of all, I wanted to
We've
say,
just-
I didn't
we've
want to
just had
insert
that there for a
toxic. What's up, Jacob? What's up, Niet? Hail. Hello,
Her-
hello. Yes,
her
I'm
and her-
sorry. Annie's death. I
her and her
apologize.
drool out of the side of her mouth.
R.I.P.
Sorry.
R.I.P.
Sorry.
Annie.
Also,
You've never
he
seen
has
a
a
real dead body, Corey?
he has a clue to follow there, because remember when Tim and Annie were talking, she was like, he actually said, you know, have you tried medication? My mother was on Haldol or something like that. And she's like, no, I don't take any drugs. Haven't had a drop of alcohol since way back. I can't remember when. And in her tent was drugs and
Yep.
alcohol.
Yep. That's where
Oh,
I
yeah.
think with his cop mentality, I think he's got to like go,
Mhm.
no, wait a minute. This looks so staged because of
I'm
those
sorry
things
to
that
be
she said. And what?
I'm sorry to be negative on it. This is fucking poor writing. This is
Oh,
poor,
stop it.
yeah,
Nadia.
poor writing.
It's
Nadia.
awful.
It's so
Hey,
generic.
let her talk.
Ooh,
Let her talk.
let us let the
I just gotta give her a hard
characters
time.
say they haven't touched alcohol or drugs in like centuries. Ooh,
Yeah, no
her
hobo's
death
ever
is
said that.
alcohol and drugs.
No hobo's ever
The de-
fucking said that.
Yeah.
I don't hear that ever. You know,
I
in
hear that
Austin.
from people with homes, and they're lying
I'm
too.
just like,
So
it's cheap writing. It's I get it. It's to move the narrative of Tim kind of
It's
starting
more
to be
truthful
suspicious
and
of
more
going
valid
on.
if people own a home. It's more likely
just-
statistically
to be an alcoholic.
for them to be telling the truth.
Oh, I thought you were
To
saying to
be
be an
an
alcoholic.
upstanding citizen.
But she's like one of the
Hmm.
crazy homeless
I don't know
people
if I'd
that are like
agree with that.
conspiracy theorists that are supposed to be right. It just, to me, I think that's why her death is not impactful, because it's just a cheap way to kind of get her out of the way, or not even out of the way, just to make Tim's story move forward, because the only way he's going to be suspicious of Annie's death is
Yeah.
you lay a bunch of pills coming out of her mouth and a bottle of alcohol. It's just, I don't
Yeah,
know. I feel
it's
it's very
lazy
cheap.
as hell.
It was too
Yeah.
quick. It was too quick. Like I wanted to see more from her, but then that relationship and probably his connection back to his mother and things he went through with her. I'm assuming I'm going to see him go a little unhinged maybe, or a little more aggressive after this, when he thinks this is staged. But I think it would be more impactful if there was more leading up to that. If they would have got closer, there would have been more of the story of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they would have had a love scene in that tent.
Shut up. Stop.
But that's the thing.
Stop.
Again, with the book,
Good.
where it goes chapter focus on Luke, chapter focus on Tim, chapter
Yeah.
on the Institute and Tim. They could easily have kind of flushed this out where we get a little bit of Annie's story, we get a little bit of Tim's story, we get a bit of a Luke story, but instead we're kind of just compressing this book because it's obvious they don't want to do a second season. They just want to do a limited series on this.
But I'm just thinking,
ain't no
like,
way they're going to greenlit for a second season.
But I'm just thinking, like, there was parallels to his relationship with his mother and taking care of her and trying to help her through things, and he lost her. And I just thought it'd be more impactful if there was a little
I agree with
more
you.
between their relationship in
Yep.
the series.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, and I think then it would be impactful as the audience on her death, where even if you're looking at Tim's face and he's shocked and upset, I don't even have empathy for him. The fact that somebody who he's been able to make a friend in this strange town with has passed away. Like, there's no connection, in my opinion. There's no connection to the audience on it. Just felt she's just a character they just kind of threw away just to motivate Tim more so, instead of finding a creative way to get him suspicious of the town and stuff.
I agree.
Yep.
Or maybe her contract, maybe she was just too much. I don't know. So it ends with Annie's death and Shaw being placed into the back half of, and then we're gonna lead into next episode for it. But let me pull up my notes on book versus show. I got to read this with one eye since I still have a contact broken in the other one.
And then
Okay.
you have to talk like a pirate too.
Yeah, I know. Yar.
Arr.
In the I want to make sure that I'm not giving any spoilers while I'm reading this. Okay. In the novel, the transition to back half is a looming threat, but the graduation ceremonies are less emphasized. Like, this party thing doesn't happen in the book. The process is described routine, with children moved after about 3 weeks in the front half, and the narrative focuses more on the children's fear and rumors about the back half rather than formalized event. So there's no party hats, cake, none of that kind of stuff in the books.
Can I ask real quick? In the book, did they have more children going through this than what the
Yep.
series has?
Yeah, there's a few more kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just kind of curious because there's just so few that are in this big building, kind of a thing. But
All right, I'm gonna have to not give. Avery is a powerful telepath who plays a crucial role in the children's. Never mind, that's a spoiler.
skip that for Corey.
Yeah, let's skip that for Corey. Yeah, it talks more about the back half and what happens and stuff. I don't want to spoil that.
I hope it dives. I hope we get that soon. I hope they don't drag it out. As much as you guys are alluding to from the book, I hope soon we get to see more of the back half and what's going on.
They're already dragging it out.
Well, no, I know.
We're only
Now,
3
the
episodes
past
in, Mike.
3 episodes, things have been
Well,
dragging.
but like Nadia said, we're
This is like
almost
this
halfway
show,
through.
This show should be called Treading Water.
The novel depicts the internal tension among the
That's funny.
Institute staff, particularly Sigsbee's paranoia about maintaining control. However, the particular plot of Stackhouse and Hendricks planning to sell children to wealthy buyers is less prominent or detailed differently in the book. It's focused more on the Institute's broader mission to exploit the children's power for a global purpose. So again, MK Ultra, Stranger Things had it. Everybody knows these conspiracy theories. Annie's death. Let me get this.
Proofread for Corey's sake.
I know.
and then-
I promise it'll be better next time because I'll make sure I'm not.
You're doing great. That's fun.
Annie's known as Orphan Annie. Is a minor character in the novel who provides Tim with cryptic warnings about the Institute. Her death is not a major plot point. The novel focuses more on Tim's gradual interrogation of Dupre and his eventual connection to Luke's story. I'm going to change some things. The plane crash and mind control theories are present, but less tied to Annie in the book.
Less isn't not at all.
Yeah.
So she didn't have that she didn't have the knowledge of that, but then like even that hum thing, she didn't have that
No.
connection. Okay.
Mm-mm. She's kind of I guess a prophet would be better. Kind of just alludes to things like it's the Alex Jones theory where he says a bunch of crazy shit, but like 1% of it is actually true if you read between the lines, kind of deal.
Was I wrong that they were kind of building her up to be like some sort of like having the shine a little bit herself? And was I wrong in that, or was I reading that wrong in the show?
In the show? No, they were. They absolutely were. They were alluding that she had some kind of connection, even when she heard the hum too.
Yeah.
So one thing. Sorry, I keep on asking questions, but
go ahead.
That made me think about it in the show, and I thought, wow, that was cut off earlier than I thought it was going to be. I was thinking she was like one that got away at one point or something like that.
I kind of thought, I kind of thought
they
were going to create that too as well. Yeah.
Like she was a kid that was maybe in that program, or they were trying to get her, and
like
she
an
got
earlier
away.
version,
Yep.
like an earlier version of that program.
And she escaped that life.
Sure.
Or whatever.
And stayed in the town.
Apologies to my panel on this. I didn't
but you know what I'm saying though?
3
like,
hours.
No, sorry, but that's talking. But like with the way they tied in some of those things, I was just like, oh, she had to have been like the early days. That was like the rough version that they tried the first time, and she was one of the kids that got out of it.
That would have been better than what they did with her.
I wonder how much of the show is suffering by like that doing a project by committee, and people are just throwing shit out there and trying to see what sticks, and some stuff goes nowhere and some stuff doesn't land right and things like that. I hate that, and that really I'm getting that vibe from this. Things that are going wrong.
Most shows are done by committee. You have a writer's room. It's just a matter of they're just not doing a good job.
Not to get like spoilers, but like so in the book, that what I just said about her, that had nothing. There was nothing like that in there.
No, you have a great idea though. You should have written.
But you know what I'm thinking? Like I was like
Corey.
thinking like, oh no, I just was like, that's when I said I wanted more from that. I just was expecting that was the rough shot first version of before the Institute was the Institute, and there was a few of these kids that got away from that life and grew older, and she was one of them. But
how the hell the guy who's the head writer for this wrote for Justified and Homeland, but he also wrote for The Stand, the 2020, and that's pretty bad. Okay, never mind. That doesn't.
Did he write for Justified the original or Justified Primeval, the sequel thing?
Ooh, that's a good point. No, Justified 2010, 27
crazy.
episodes.
Love that show.
Fucking great
It's
show.
always recommended to me.
Really best show that's ever been made, really, from a book, if I'm being honest.
And the other writer for it did Master of Sex. I know that was a show for a while, but nothing else prominent on it.
Don't know that one.
Yeah. It's lazy writing. It's just lazy writing. It really is. To be honest, and I would say like I wouldn't be hard on this show if for once there wasn't Stranger Things. The reason why I say this, we have an institute with kids with telekinetic abilities and telepathic abilities and stuff like that, similar to Stranger Things, right? 11 has abilities and stuff like that. You have the conspiracy of the lab and stuff in Stranger Things. Here, nothing's a threat. Nothing really feels like a threat. There's nothing at risk on it. In Stranger Things, the first season, 11 kills like 8 people in one blow with her telekinetic abilities. You're telling me that there's never been an uprising of these kids to do it or try? So, like, it's just, Hi, Rick. I see you. Sorry, I'm working with one eye.
The single hallway that they only film in.
Yeah.
But
support.
But I kind of thought about that too, with how strong Avery maybe potentially will be with this. I don't know what's going to happen, but if there's ever any that they come across that they would be like, that's too strong, we need them weaker to mold them and do what we want them to do. If they're too strong, they just eliminate them. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be at some point, like you're saying, like if some kid is so strong with their TP that they could just make somebody do something they wanted to do, that they'd be like, we got to eliminate that one, but get one that's got some powers that's weak enough for us to, with fear and pain or whatever, like to mold them to what we want them to do. But if they're too strong, we can't. That's why I'm kind of surprised that they're allowing Avery in there, especially with Sigsbee or whatever her name is, saying like, yeah, keep your distance.
I
that's a
do agree
strong
with
one.
that. I mean, especially given the fact that they know how, I don't know if it's part of his power or just an ability he has, but with Luke being such a masterful tactician, and his deep understanding of people, how things work and stuff like that, giving him a weapon, a tool like Avery seems really not that, again, lazy writing. So,
Yeah.
you would
It feels
think
like
they'd
these kids are
separate
in
them.
detention. That's what it feels like. These kids are just in detention.
Nowhere near as interesting as Breakfast Club, and that movie was over 2 hours a little bit, and is way more interesting and engaging.
The greatest detention movie ever.
Than a single episode or 3 hours. Just this entire. Oh man, yeah, it is a wannabe Stranger Things. It is a.
It is. It truly
is a low budget wannabe version of Stranger Things. I think.
Yeah,
it is. It really is. Because I mean, Toxic's been with me for the 3 seasons that we've covered and stuff, and we've always brought up the fact that 11, the main character, this is no spoiler to it, having abilities, but she's always challenged, and sometimes she loses. Like sometimes she gets her ass kicked and stuff. Like there's a little bit of realism to it, even though it's a sci-fi horror fan, whatever you want to label it. Where here, it's like I haven't seen the kids do shit. I haven't
Treading
nothing.
water was a good water was a good analogy.
Right. But Nadia, you're talking about you haven't seen anything? Yeah, we haven't. Oh, so he gets tested when he's on the chair.
It moves
and he
like
lifts something. He lifts something. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh.
They made the same mistake with
Brilliant.
the movie version of Dark Tower. They made the same mistake. It built Jacob to be this great telepath, and then he does literally nothing with it in the film. So,
well, two last differences, the pacing and focus. So the novel spends more time building the children's relationship in the Institute's oppressive atmosphere in the front half before escalating to the back half in escape attempts. The narrative is slow paced with detailed internal monologues and world building. So way different than what we're getting. And Tim's romantic tension. Tim's relationship with Wendy is understated, serving as a minor subplot in Dupree. The novel focuses more on his role as the night knocker and his eventual alliance with Luke. So anything else I missed with the differences, Trina, Toxic, before we wrap it up, since we're almost at 3 hours?
Nothing nothing worth mentioning really. On my
we gotta at least do 3 hours at this point.
We gotta do it now.
Come on.
There's a major difference.
Have a 3 at that.
There's a major difference as far as the order in which the kids go to the back half, but I don't want to say anything because they may be doing something with it, and I don't want to like spoil it just in case. So I'll wait and see what the show where the show goes first.
Yeah. Well,
sorry. One more question. I promise I'll shut up after this. But
You're
from
fine,
where
Corey.
the ones that have read the book and the pacing of the book and where we're 3 episodes in to 8 episodes. Do you feel 8 episodes are going to get the full book in?
No.
They're gonna stretch this out. This is going to be, if it gets picked up again, there might be a
no.
season.
They're going to conclude the story. They're just going to remove a lot of the meat from
we're
the
gonna
book.
we're gonna get the bare bones of
Cliff
it.
notes.
Just like we did with Langoliers and like a dozen other adaptations.
The remake of The Stand,
Sure. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're like, okay, if we're almost halfway in, they're like, there's no way they're telling this story that I read. Okay.
No. I will be very surprised if they end this season on a cliffhanger. Very surprised. Do you think the show would be more or be less enjoyable without reading the book? Rick, I would say my opinion. You know what? We'll add that into the final thoughts. So, Corey, what are your final thoughts plus answering this question?
So I feel that my answer to that is, since I have not read the book, I feel like I've been a little more positive about things I've been watching on it. So I almost think it would have been I don't know, from just everything I'm hearing from everybody else. If I would have read it beforehand, I might have a different opinion about this, but so far, agree. There's some bad editing, some bad writing. There's other things going on with it, but I'm still interested. Like I said, if you decided you weren't going to do one more stream about this, I'm going to finish the series. I want to see where it goes, but from everything that everybody said, as soon as I get done with that, I'm going to be grabbing the audiobook and going through that and checking out what the differences are. Yeah.
Nice.
It's a good read.
If that makes
I will
sense,
say.
you know, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say it kind of reignited my love of what I enjoy of King, but it's probably the last thing I've read from him, to be honest.
But I will say for sure, I will not listen to the audiobook at all until I'm done with this series. Like, I'll watch this first at this point, and but when it's all done, I'm very interested to dive into that, and it'll be interesting to check out the differences that I know you all are running into.
You'll do the same thing I did with Dresden Files. Sci-Fi did 1 or 2 seasons of it. I watched it, and then when I met my husband, he's like, it's a book series. I read the book series. I was like, what is this abomination on screen? This is not even anything close to the series. What is going on?
But that'll be interesting. Maybe we can circle back sometime and have a little, even if it's a side chat sometime. It'd be fun after I get through that.
If only there was somebody that had a show that did that.
If only. And if only you could put up with me, and if only you could put up with me for a little bit longer.
Corey, stop being negative. We all
That's not negative. It's not negative. I didn't say anything bad.
Tony.
Oh, come on, Kyle.
Anyway, Trina, final thoughts. And do you think the show would be more or less enjoyable without reading the book?
Well, okay, so going by how Corey is reacting to the show, I'm going to conclude that it's definitely more enjoyable if you haven't read the book.
That's fair enough, yeah.
Okay.
I am loving Corey's optimism with the show. I really am. It's great.
You're the one, Trina. Thank you.
That is the correct way to describe it, yes.
I do. I love it. I'm so glad you're having a great time. And I'm gonna stick with it until the show is over, and I'm not having a high opinion of it. The pacing is off to me. Characters, I feel nothing for them. It's just fallen flat for me. And like we discussed, the editing, the technical stuff like that, not good as well, in my opinion. That's really all I have to say for now. It was a great conversation, though. I really did. I loved the conversation.
Let's say I've had fun.
I will say the conversation with you guys is way more fun than watching this show. I mean, we're gone for like 3 hours. I expected us to be done in about 2 hours because of this episode, but I'm enjoying my time with you.
Did 3 hours of our stream feel shorter than 42 minutes?
It actually did, actually, in the episode. Kyle, your final thoughts, and do you think the show is more enjoyable that you haven't read the book?
What do I have going on later on? No. Let me answer that. I do not hold the same curious optimism that you, Corey, hold.
That's fair enough.
I think this TV show is really bad, and I'm only gonna watch it because I get to come here and talk about it with you guys and have a jovial time. Here's something that I'll push against, though. I do not think that anyone should have to read a book in order to enjoy a movie or TV show. It should stand on its own. I had a conversation with a friend of mine about Godfather. And the thing I push back on, there are some things in that movie, first time watching it, that I say in the video, and you can go and check it out. It's released right now on my channel, is I think there are some plot holes in The Godfather. And Ben, being an aficionado, someone who's very, who grew up watching those movies, said, "No, man, I love it when things are left off screen and it allows for your interpretation and all that stuff." And he recommended that I read the book, and I said, no, I do not have to read a book in order to enjoy a movie. Nobody is telling anyone, oh, that you didn't like The Lord of the Rings. Well, you got to read the book, man. You got to read the book. Anyone who would do that would signify that the movies fucking failed. Okay? But they didn't. Peter Jackson and company did it well. They adapted it very well. And it's one of the greatest trilogies in cinema history. This movie or TV show, The Institute, has lost my ability. It's lost its ability to hook me because my standard is capped at 3 episodes. If you can't hook me within that span of time and that count, then I'm out. You're out. So I'm gonna be diligent about continuing on with this because of our talks. But no, I'm checked out. And if you need to excuse me because of my somewhat isolated cynicism about and jabs towards this thing, because that's what I'm gonna do. So if you don't like it, I understand to be excused, but
you're welcome.
Otherwise, if you do enjoy it, yeah, I'll be back for more quips, jabs, critiques, etc. Cheers.
Toxic.
He might need another drink after this one too. Maybe.
I've only been having sparkling water.
Oh, okay.
I haven't had anything to drink tonight.
Strangely enough, I actually agree with both Kyle and Corey in this. I am hopeful they can pull this out, but I also do think that if you haven't gotten it right by episode 3, that you really shouldn't be given any sort of grace to the answer. I think I've already answered this, but to reiterate, I'll say the same thing I said earlier in the stream. I think the enjoyability of this would increase if you had not read the book. There's many times when I'm waiting for something to happen that I know happened in the book or in the way that the book happened, and it doesn't occur, and it just kind of miffs me a little bit, and I get annoyed. So, or if it is done the way that the book is written, it's handled with all of the grace of cousin Toby, picking up a hot pie without any gloves on. It's just really painful to watch. So, in that regards, I would definitely have recommended for this not to have read the book first. So make of that what you will.
Mm-hmm.
You got to wait 3 more minutes, Nadia.
Okay, hold on.
3 more minutes. Three
I don't
more
think
minutes.
it matters.
Or we can just talk about, Corey, you can talk about how you're not going to be invited back onto the show, and you're probably going to get, a hit put out on you because you've been invited too many times. And yeah, so
All right, now you just need 2.5 more minutes.
I got this. I'm with Kyle. I don't think you need to. As someone who has read the book, read it a long time ago, understands the overall context, and knows the ending of the story and such, I don't think you should have to read books, comics, watch other TV shows, movies to have a cohesive story. Okay, I didn't play, again, bringing it back. I didn't play any of the Last of Us games, and I thought season 1 was really well done, and season 2 is ass. Because of the writing, the editing, the techniques, the acting, all that stuff. So I think this show could have been good, even if it didn't come from a source, even if this was just an idea that they had to create for TV. They could have developed this, but they're lacking in character development. I don't give a fuck about any of the characters, and I can swear on this channel. I don't care if they live or die. I really just don't. I think that they're having a really rough time of trying to tell 3 storylines in an episode. You've got the kids who are trying to escape. Then you have the whole conspiracy with Sigsbee and Stackhouse and the guy who's always answering the phone, but you never see his face kind of deal. And then you have Tim's story. And it works in a narrative in a book because you have time to kind of flush it out. 1 chapter for this person, 1 chapter for this person and stuff. Here it doesn't work. It's so the editing and just and to be honest, when we get to another character's point of view, like another story, one of the 3 storylines, I just completely blank on what I just watched for one of the other storylines. So it just doesn't work for me. And I really wanted this show to do well because I do like the book. I think the book is a fun read. I was like, oh, maybe they're gonna lean a little bit more into the horror and stuff. It's the same problem I had with the first 2 episodes where they kidnapped the kids. They ended up KOing the parents. That's an impactful thing in the book that happens when Luke finds out. They kind of brush over it on this. And it just doesn't work for me. I'm hoping episode 4, we just kind of get thrown into the later half of the book, which I think is what's going to happen because they're condensing it so much. But yeah, I'm with Kyle. I'm checked out, but I'm here because I want to hang out with you guys at my channel. So
watch when Alien Earth comes out. We're going to start overlapping our reviews talking about that.
Yeah, that one's Corey, what do you got going on
Yes.
next?
What do I have going on next? I'm trying to piece some things together. It's been a busy month, and I kind of dropped off a little bit, but I want to pick some stuff up. But this Sunday, some friends asked if they wanted to do a watch along of From Paris with Love. John Travolta. Never seen it before, but they threw it out there. A little bit of an action movie, so we're going to be doing that on my channel Sunday. Possibly Monday, I might be watching a mystery movie that I might pop up on a Tuesday stream with deleted scenes and Sin and Kyle. I don't know if you're doing that one or not, but
Thirsty Thursday, you mean?
no, the mystery movie.
I'm gonna be busy.
Okay, I haven't been official.
I don't want to overlap the outro for you.
This is not being self-deprecating, but or anything. But I have not been
What?
official. I have not been.
You're self-defecating?
No, I said it wrong. I didn't do that either, but whatever.
Deprecating. Yeah.
That one too.
Don't
I haven't been invited that one. Whatever.
Come on,
What?
that's the thing.
That's low hanging fruit.
That's-
I mean, don't just come on. But
Aw.
anyway, that's what I got going on right now. I speak really badly and I say words wrong, and
So do
that's
I.
my channel. Come hang out. And just kidding. If you can't laugh at yourself, what can you laugh at, right? Come on.
Before I let you go, Dieter gifted not one but two Horror with Ned's membership because I guess he
Oh.
hit himself.
Nice, Dieter.
The first one.
Can you
So-
gift a membership to yourself?
It has happened. It has happened.
For real? I didn't know if
before.
that was
Yeah.
even a possibility.
Trina, German or Spanish?
German.
German.
Schmeiß ich dich ins Feuer! Du dämliches Weibstück! Du willst mir tun? Ich werd's dir zeigen!
I will die. I will die on the hill that the German version is just so much scarier.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but that Spanish version is hilarious too.
In the Spanish version, he doesn't even sound like he's just like
I know, but it just goes like blah, 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 blah.
Hold on. He did give two memberships, so two.
¡Que hables, maldito! De lo contrario te arrojaré al fuego! ¡A la verga, me vale verga, perro! ¡Y cállate a la verga, hija de su puta!
I think you heard him say self-deprecating.
That's basically what he does in that one. But, you can definitely understand the German one better. But
Yeah. Trina, what do you have going on next?
All right. Well, I am actually on vacation as far as my channel goes right now, but on here on this channel with Nadia on Tuesday we have Final Girls. I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, that's about it for me. This was awesome. Thank you guys for the awesome conversation, and thank you all for joining us.
Nice and sweet. I like that.
Yeah.
yeah, you didn't say anything wrong like I did. So
Kyle, you're busy.
Hey,
man. What do you
I
got going
apply
on
the
next?
same standard. If I fuck up with something, I expect people
just
to
own
call
it
me
and go
out
with
on
it.
Yeah.
Just go
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Just go with it.
Am I next?
Yes, you
Yes.
are next. Now you may do your, speech, whatever.
Now, finally. Yeah, right?
Yes.
Now I can, and not
Yeah.
fuck up.
Yeah, don't pull a Corey. Go for it.
So next week, I was going to say something else, but I'll hold my tongue. Next week, Monday, doing a stream with Brawler, who has appeared in this chat. I don't know if he was
Yeah, he was in there.
I see
I don't know
him.
if he's still here.
He's going to be on my channel next Wednesday. So,
He's a busy guy.
yeah.
So I'm going to be doing 2 live streams Monday and Tuesday with him. One for monthly movie roundup, and then Tuesday Godfather 3. In conjunction with that, this weekend or the day of that live stream, I'm going to release a conversation that I had with Benjamin Slack. He's an actor and a friend of mine, and we recorded that conversation out in my backyard during a fireside chat. We have scars. And we recorded that about a month or two ago, but it's been sitting, and I've been waiting for the right moment to release it, and here we are. There's a live stream coming up with Brawler, and it'll be a good moment to do it. And then Thirsty Thursday, like a lot of us are going to be on there and reuniting with Paul from Off the Cover. And it's going to be a whale of a time. So
and then Kyle will be back here for episode 4.
Yeah, I won't be for because you're doing it Thursday, next Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to be on Thursday, right?
It'll be earlier. I'll be on for an hour, and then I'll be hopping on to here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, okay. You're going to kind of do it the way that we did with Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Jurassic
Everybody
series.
likes to stream on Thursdays.
Yeah, that's another thing that I'll plug. You just did a Jurassic franchise retrospective for all the 7 of the movies. Nadia was on it, and it's available right now on my channel. So, yeah.
Toxic.
Not a whole lot. I'm still waiting on Critical Al to tell me when he's ready, and we'll talk about Consider the Source, the book versus TV series, The Walking Dead, the main series, not any of the spinoffs. Just waiting for his green light on that. I would like to do a video talking about some of the movies that I've saw. I think I'm just going to do like one stream by myself and just talk about my last couple weeks in the theater and what I've liked and what I've not liked, instead of just focusing on one film. Just talk about like what the summer has shown for me. But I think I'll hold that off till I see Fantastic Four, so I can put my 2 cents in, which may or may not be tomorrow. As Sunday, as usual, Toonie Boy will be with me for Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 3, episodes 4 and 5, where we get to meet Faith, finally, my favorite character on the show. And I'll be with you tomorrow night, as you know, for Stranger Things. And we're going to start season 4. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So
you should call your live stream Toxic Views.
Which one? The summer movies?
Yeah. Toxic Views.
I will, you know what? I will do that. I'll do that.
I'm fancy. I make calendars for my month.
Again, why are you leaving blank dates there? You need to fill all those things up. Like that's not enough. Look at that right there. You're not doing enough. Come on.
Stranger Things is tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. Season 4. You're fine. Season 4,
She has
episode
to
1.
take time
and then...
to self-defecate, man. So
yes.
Come on.
Make sure you defecate once in a while, because I heard it's a good
at least
thing.
Once a day. Come on.
Yeah, you know.
Members only watch party will be this Saturday. Members, you'll get a link out tomorrow for it. It's going to be Barbarian. We're in prepare for weapons. I know it's not a sequel to Barbarian, but it's in the same universe as Barbarian. If you've done, I almost said if you've done your research, I didn't want to be that conceited. If you know what's going on with weapons and Zach Kruger and this world he's built and stuff. So Final Girls will be Tuesday. Trina will be with me with a couple other ladies. We're going to be talking about what we watched for the month of July, what we're looking forward to in August. The 30th, I will have Box Office Brawler and a couple others on with me to talk about millennial horror movies millennials grew up with, and we're going to tier them. So that should be fun. And then we're back here for the Institute. And just like Kyle said, I will be on Thirsty Thursdays with Paul for a little bit.
Juggling. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out to fit another stream. And I'm like, my husband's like, no, you're capped at 3 for now. Until I get to the hang of it. I will be seeing Fantastic Four this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to talk about it. I don't know. Meh. Thank you to my panel. You guys are awesome today. We went over 3 hours, and thank you to the chat too. You guys are awesome.
Thanks to Corey.
We gotta
go 3 hours.
Thanks. Hey, you got that close. You got to hit the next one. You can't, like 15 minutes away. You can flip and talk for a little bit.
Oh yeah,
but
sure
I'll say the reason we do these live streams is the chat, and the chat's been awesome tonight. And whether you could hang out for the whole thing or not, I'll just say there's been some long haulers tonight. There's been some names I've seen popping up like the whole 3 hours. So thank you very much. That's why we do this. It makes it a lot of fun. So you're all cool. Thank you. That's all I was going to say, but I'll shut up now.
Nicely said.
Rick,
Awesome.
thank you for pointing that out, because then I am going to redirect everybody over to Gooch for Gooch After Dark. He's going to be talking about Fantastic Four with a couple other people, I believe, or whoever can make it. So if you are, I know he's in live in 15 minutes, but if you're redirected into his chat, you stick around, tell him I sent you.
Say Nadia said to say hi.
Yeah. I said, Nadia sent us. We don't listen to you, Gooch. We listen to Nadia. No, he's great. I wouldn't have this channel without Gooch, but that's a longer story. Anyway, thank you guys again. We'll be back here next week, episode 4. I think Sin will be joining us at that point too, and Rachel should be back from vacation, so we'll have a full panel for that night, unless Kyle decides to ditch for Thirsty Thursdays. Until then, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your week and stay spooky, y'all. Bye.